All right, so yeah, how's your day been? It's been cruisy.
Today has been pretty crazy, mate. But look, firstly, thank you for the opportunity to come here and share some of my story with you.
No, it's all good.
And
Look,
feel honoured for the
well,
opportunity.
it's like what I said. Like, I've seen Deviance all over Facebook and stuff like that over the years, and it's like you do the live streams and you've done events, and I think I went to a beach rave, and that was one of your beach raves, right?
Good possibility.
Yeah.
Good possibility.
Yeah, and it was like it was so whack because it was like you had a really good beach rave on the right hand side, and there was like a 18th birthday on the left hand side.
Yeah.
And all
yeah.
the kids are like, nah, that they
Yeah,
jump shit. They're like,
yeah.
nah, this beach rave's better. Like, fuck this. Like, we've got one gazebo and this and that, but the sound's better over here and the whole lot.
Yeah. It's I don't do things by halves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if it's a picnic at the beach. Yeah.
So tonight we have Gethen on. Gethen James Sullivan, but that's your middle name, James, right?
Yeah, correct. Don't tell anyone. It's not like it's all over Facebook or anything.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. But you were saying as well, it's like you had to change it because you had like a nickname instead, and then...
Yeah, so on Facebook I used to go by Benny Fitz, which is just a bit of an inside joke. So if anyone ever accepts my friend request or vice versa, they get a notification saying you are now friends with benefits, and I'm like, that's fucking gold.
Ah, okay, that's
gold.
Sense. Yeah,
and then someone eventually, some Karen out there on the great wide interweb,
good old Karens,
dumped me in, and Facebook suspended my whole account until I actually provided photo ID to
your whole account.
Just locked everything down. So
you couldn't see, like, you couldn't access anything.
I couldn't do anything. Yeah, couldn't log in until I actually had to send them a photo of my ID, and so hence,
wow,
can't even go by Gethen or Gethen Sullivan anymore. It's got to be the full thing, and I can't change it now. I'm locked in.
Holy shit! Okay.
Yeah.
So what episode are we up to, Damo?
128.
128. So yeah, quite a few episodes in now.
Well done.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you're a DJ. You produce on the side?
Not yet. Look, I have some production tools, but that's something I need some lessons in, to be honest.
No, I'm the same as well. Like, production's a whole different ballpark. It is like, playing other people's music and then, mixing it up and transitioning and this and that, it's good. But then, like, trying to make your own tunes is like, it's so full on sometimes. So,
yeah.
And it's like trying to actually, like, just create the whole thing. It's I just struggle with it, honestly. Like, I tried for 4 years, couldn't do it. So, but so you also run the events, right? The Deviance page, and like that's been up since 2014, didn't you say?
Yeah, probably 2015 for Deviance. So started DJing in 2014.
Yeah.
And then one thing led to another, and the birth of Deviance. So
yeah. So then, to start everything off, like, what actually got you into music right in the beginning?
What got me into music? Music in general probably has always been part of my life.
Yeah.
Just my parents playing music. Tracy Chapman, Dire Straits, Gang of Jang. All that sort of
the classics.
That era.
Yeah.
And it probably wasn't until 1995 where I kind of discovered electronic music. DJ Shadow came out in, I think, 96. DJ Shadow Introducing, still like one of my top 3 albums of all time.
Yeah,
absolutely
DJ
timeless.
Shadow is just amazing. is what album did you say? Just so
Introducing. So it's like introducing, but END at the start.
Is that the one with Organ Donor on it? Yeah, Organ Donor is such a classic.
Building Steam with a Grain of Salt. Yeah,
I don't think I've heard that one actually. I've only
so Organ Donor is what first caught my attention.
Yeah.
The more and more you listen to that album, the more and more you get deeper into electronic music or DJ music or anything like that. You're like, yeah, that one's a little bit. That'd be like the cheesier side.
Yeah.
Like Building Steam with a Grain of Salt. That's on point.
Because he's more experimental, kind of like classic hip hop.
Yeah, funk stuff. He does. He's got has had a pretty unique sound. He does a lot more production these days, but back in those days it was a lot more sample based. And he'd do whole sets on 7-inch vinyl and stuff. Just old school. I had
no idea how young he looks. So young there, but that is 2000.
He's like 37 in that photo.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Handsome man. So you want to be a young forever, be a DJ.
Just DJ, yeah.
For some reason, I always thought he was like African American or something like that.
I thought it's because if you look at I thought he was like the guy on the left.
Yeah, I guess he's the guy on the.
Reagan, might be Calculus.
Yeah. So
you
started out with like listening to that and then diving into that.
Yeah. Which believe it or not, you think that your friends, your peers, would be the ones who get you into cool music.
Yeah.
No, that was one of my family friends and my mate, his dad.
His dad?
I was like, wow, that's on point.
Nice.
Nice.
So what, like, did you just rock up and he's just playing it one day and you're like, oh, this is interesting. What's this?
Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of opened my ears to, I guess, to the fact there's more music out there.
Yeah.
Then I dug a bit deeper.
And then, so like, how did you go from like that? Because 95 to 2014, like 2015, like
it's a bit of a gap. Yeah. So I was always into music. I toyed with the idea of buying vinyl and turntables, but then I was like,
so expensive.
So expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
expensive. And me, I've always been like a digital based person, like technology. You know, I always talk in binary, but. So the small country town where I'm from, which is Nannup.
You're from Nannup originally?
I'm from Nannup, yeah.
No shit, okay, because I'm from Busso originally.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I used to go to Busso High.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, holy shit. You're
country bumpkin, man. Yeah.
Fuck, okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had a computer in my bedroom at home before the school even had computers. And then by the time the school got computers and the computer, the IT guy was actually part-time gardener, part-time IT guy, so that was the best choice they had. So most of the time if something goes wrong, they'd be like, can you come and...
Really?
Sure, no worries.
Well, they actually got you to come in and fix it and stuff.
Yeah, I was fixing a few things there. Yeah.
That's of course, yeah. That's sick though.
So yeah, I've definitely always been into computers and the digital side of things. So for me, I knew that if I invest in anything creative, if I was going to buy turntables, if I was going to get into this, I don't do things by halves. I'm like balls deep. I'm all the way in. So I'm like, which is going to be the better option in the long run. I know that technology always continues to advance. I'm like, I want to do digital instead. I listened to some of the digital stuff at the time and I was like, that's rubbish. That's shocking.
Really?
So yeah, I'm like, nah, I'll just forget about that for a while. And so what I was doing is on my computer, and I had a pile of, obviously, piles of CDs. On my computer, I would just rip all individual tracks and I'd use a web editor called SoundForge back in the day, which is, it used to be Sonic Foundry. It's now, I think Sony overtook them or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Very, SoundForge. Like it's a comprehensive web editor.
It looked like that. So it's kind of like...
It's not like Audacity.
You're
kind
right.
of.
Yeah, there we go. So it looked like that little... So it was kind of like Audacity?
Yeah, kind of like Audacity, but a proper paid, like, legit version.
Yeah, okay.
For more, editing and things like that. Now, the only thing is that it didn't have... You couldn't adjust the BPM or the pitch of anything like that. So I would literally have to find tracks, arrange them in such a way that... they would link together. So all you could do is like copy and paste mix. So you could like overlay them.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't even multi-channel either, multi-track. It was just like one stereo track. That's it. And you're like, nah.
Okay.
And because I've got zero like qualifications and training in music theory or anything like that. So I'm just listening and learning on the spot sort of thing. And I think there was some benefit in that because it taught me to like I think that I listen and interpret and structure my DJ sets a little bit differently to other people because I'm listening for different things. So like it might be a little cowbell over here and a simple triangle, and I'm like, yeah, those things match. Whereas rather than the standard bass. So so I was putting CDs together, and, you know, bootleg kind of things. They used to look legit. I do like full jewel cases with like the printed covers and stickers and jazz like that. But that's where I started. So I was doing that. First mix I put together was in 1999 for that.
Well, so it was like, did you just give it out to your mates? Were you still in Nanup then? Or
no, I'd moved to Perth, so I came up to Perth for year 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Coming back.
Whoop, yep.
So that was...
No, fixing the lighting up a bit, yeah. But yeah, so, okay, because that's the thing as well, like, music is so important, like, honestly, as an education kind of thing, like, you know, it helps, it just teaches people so much. Like, can you look some things up when you've done with that demo about, like, because, like, I'm not a professional on, like, to be able to actually, like, full on discuss it, but at the same time, it's like, you know, for me, I would say music helped shape my life, and, like, help me teach things, like, help me understand things better, and just, like, you know, it's just, like, it's overall, like, you know, it's not just counting to 4 in a way. Like, it's actually like, you know, keeping beat and keeping like understanding how things can actually be structured and like put together in the whole lot. So, because you went like, so you went, moved to Perth in year 11, year 12 then, right?
12, yeah.
And then so like, because you became a real estate agent, right?
Yes.
So did you just put the music on the side and like focus on like a real job? Because it's
a
real job in a way, right?
Day job, yeah, so I got into real estate pretty early as well. I think I was 22 at the time. And I reckon I looked about 14. So that was that was a bit of a stumbling block for me to try and convince people that I actually knew what I was talking about. So I had to educate myself quick smart. Yeah. But that worked out. So, that was my primary focus, but I've always had the passion for music. And for me, I guess my mindset is, okay, if I'm going to do a job, I'm doing that job and I'm expecting to get paid from that. If it's a creative outlet, something that I'm passionate about, I didn't want to necessarily, where possible, not associate a dollar figure per hour or anything like that. Yeah. DJing separate, but I mean, I would never become like a full-time DJ. Like because then it's a job. Exactly. I want the love. I want the magic. I want to, when I'm feeling inspired, that's when I want to get on the decks, or I want to share music and that sort of thing.
That's the thing, is like I've said it a couple of times on this on the podcast and stuff, and I've told so many friends in the past, but it's like, they say, oh, you DJ every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that must be amazing. And I just say, well, imagine playing Gimme 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 every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or like Perth's strange because it's like it's a bubble almost, and we're like stuck in the 80s, 90s, 2000s kind of thing, like. And we still listen to, you still go anywhere and you hear Flow Rider Low and like, just like the classics kind of stuff like that, right?
Not sure where you're going, but yeah, okay, cool.
But it's just like, when you go out, people go out and they DJ for the passion and the fun of it. And just like you said, it's like, it can turn into a job. And when like, for me, it turned into a job. And like, I absolutely loved the job. It was the best job ever. And I still do it as much as I can. Yeah. But it's still just like, when you go out and play that cheesy crap, sometimes it's kind of like, come on, can't we just mix it up or do this or do that, or like, let me play some drum and bass or play some classic dubstep or anything. But people don't, like, they go to pubs and bars and they don't want to hear that. They want to hear the cheesy crap, like
stuff they've heard before because they're familiar with it and they can possibly sing along to it.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
and I've always been taught, it's like, you keep the girls happy and the boys will follow. That's just how it works. Because girls like to dance and boys like to see girls dance. And they go and dance to the girls.
Yeah.
So like, how long? Did you have to go to uni to go and do your real estate? Or?
No, like it was technically it was TAFE or REWA sort of thing.
That's pretty cool though, because is it now a university thing? Qualification?
No, look, it's dead simple, to be honest.
Really?
Anyone looking to get into real estate, it's a walk in the park. The first, you've got your sales rep license and or / property management. If you get sales rep, you're also qualified as a property manager as well. Yeah. I think there were 43 people in the class when I joined it.
That's pretty big, though.
Yeah, big class, because everyone's like, they want to do it for the money. Yeah. All I wanted to do is earn more than I was in my previous job where I was getting screwed over. So,
what were you doing in his previous job?
I won't mention the company name, but I was installing mod chips and like Foxtel.
Oh, really?
Gold cards and shit like that.
Nice. Yes, telecommunications in a way.
Yeah.
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 No, that's all right then. So it was kind of like the right move in a way then.
Yeah. So it was. I worked out from that previous job that I've got a knack for sales. I like talking with people. I like, I'm always authentic. I'll do my best to be ethical in every sense. And I think that's helped me. That's helped me well. But yeah, so real estate, when I first got into it, it was a bit of a jumping out of the nest without a landing pad underneath, because back then there was no base salary or debit credit retainer or anything like that. So it was literally sink or swim. So you've got to get in there, learn as much as you can, make a sale. Even when you make a sale, you've usually got 21 to 28 days finance, and then maybe settlement a month after that. So even from the day you make a sale, you're probably looking at 2 months before you actually get paid off that.
Yeah, wow.
So that's why back then there were so many cowboys, so many sharks that are just like, dollars. If I don't close this deal, whatever it takes, I'm not going to get paid.
Yeah.
That I didn't like that approach.
Yeah, so that's a bit dodgy in a way. Like
it was a bad setup.
Yeah,
it's a bad setup.
You got to be more authentic, and you got to, like if you're going to sell a house, make sure that they're going to be happy in their house, right? Like, like you don't want to sell them a house that's falling apart.
No, exactly right.
Yeah, because that's kind of like this house, to be honest, as well. Like the landlord lives in China, and they've just recently sold the house, but they didn't look after it for like the 15 years that they had it. And so now, like, there's mold in the bathrooms, there's mold on the walls and this and that. And like, ceilings got leaks, and they're fixing it up slowly because the new landlords, like, which is the Australian family bought it.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're moving their kids in here and their family in here. And it's like, they're seeing all these things like, for fuck's sake, like we didn't realize that when we bought it, all this stuff would go wrong, but it's the authenticity behind it almost. So So then with that, like, fast track a little bit. Like, so after that, after high school and then getting real estate, how did you get back into the music? Like, were you still going out raving on the weekends and partying?
No, so this is probably blow your mind. So as I say, I was pretty much a real estate agent, suit and tie, nice shoes, all that sort of jazz. And when I started to get paid in real estate, and I was probably in 2013, into 2013, I bought a controller. And I'm like, I want something that's got a bit more control. Get off the computer. Stop doing this like manual cut and paste shit.
What controller? Because
Newmark NS7.
A Newmark NS7.
Yeah, so which is Serato based controller. So laptop's not standalone. Yeah. Which it's the first thing. I was like, okay, I want to get something that's reasonable price without being ridiculous, because I don't know if I'm going to even pick this up or not.
That's the way to do it as well, because Pioneer is so expensive.
Yeah,
so expensive.
Yeah,
but we'll get to that though.
Yeah, and I will say back then, like the Newmark $2,000 controller had far superior build quality to the 2000 Nexus ones and shit by a long shot. Yeah, but
they were still the industry standard.
They were, but for me, I wasn't even thinking about the industry. Like this is my little bedroom project kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Newmark NS7, it had like it had motorized platters, and it had these little pretty useless but fake vinyl on top.
Okay.
And then it's all digital based, so it's only MP3s and things like that.
I think I've actually seen one of those before. Have you managed to find it, Damo? So I think I've actually been out to an event and someone's actually brought that with them.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's got tractor in the middle.
Yeah, it'd be well old, so you'd probably need to just Google image search it, I think, rather than there.
So was it
Newmark, Numark, and then space N for November, S for Sam, 7, Newmark NS7. Yeah. And wait if we can get some photos up.
Oh yeah, I think so. I have seen someone actually rock up with one of those. They're heavy as well, aren't they?
They are heavy. Yeah, the whole thing's metal chassis. But the useless thing about it, like those motorized platters, they are literally for decoration.
Really?
So I think underneath the BPM slider, you've got this little pitch bend, which is it's basically your jog wheel. So instead of like nudging it forwards or backwards to slow up or speed up a track, you've got to use this little bend.
So that's on the left and the right hand.
Yeah.
No. So the
far corners, yeah.
the
Bottom right
far
corner.
corners of the faders on the right, up. Yeah, to the right. Yeah, that. No, down. Yeah, that. Yeah. Yeah. So that was.
It's just like, and you're gonna hold it. It's like, and I was like, nah.
Yeah,
Nah.
I'm not surprised.
So I had that for about 3 months, and I'm like, okay, well, that's what happens when you try and buy entry level stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how much is it going to cost for the normal stuff? What even is the normal stuff?
Yeah.
Because at this point in my life, I'd been to one club.
Really?
One club, one time.
What club was it?
Connections, Connie's.
Yeah, no
because it was the only place that would let me in.
Really?
I look like a fucking baby.
Yeah.
So
Just get carted everywhere you go.
yeah, I was not, definitely wasn't part of the club scene. Wasn't part of the music scene in any stretch. Had no idea what I was walking into.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I was earning more money then, so I'm like, I'll invest in some decent stuff, and I was just planning on just playing at home, and
just bedroom.
literally bedroom DJ. My mum would go, oh yeah, nice job, you're a DJ. Yeah.
That's
so I'm
it,
like,
yeah.
thanks, mum. And my friends be like, yeah, really good. I don't really know. And so I kept it as that, and then there was one particular lady friend who came over. She had been playing. She's like, you should go in this competition. I'm like, what? Are you kidding? So I'd had the CDJ 2000 Nexus 1s.
Okay.
So that and it's pretty much the same as a 900 Nexus mixer. But it was a Serato enabled one.
Okay.
Because I wanted to have that link from, all right, well, I've used the Serato software on the Newmark before. At least there'll be some kind of bridging
That's
gap.
it. So you can still use the laptop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was using that setup for about 3 months. And yeah, this girl said, go in this competition. I'm like, hell no.
Was that
So
the Limelight?
no, Habitat
Habitat
DJ comp. Yeah.
Wow,
Geisha.
okay.
Yeah. So, and again, I didn't know who at the time. So naive, no idea who Habitat was. Didn't even really know what Geisha was.
Because Habitat's been around forever.
Yeah,
Forever and
they're
ever.
solid in the scene. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And yeah, when I looked at the fine print in the competition, I'm like, you know what? I want to go just for my own knowledge to see what other people do, because I'm completely self-taught. What's called autodidactic. So I didn't even look at YouTube videos. I read the instruction manual for the CDJs and the mixer. I mean, that doesn't tell you how to DJ.
Yeah,
It tells you what the buttons are. So
Yeah, exactly.
I was reading that, and they'd be like, all right, cool, press this, make my own little notes. So for those 3 months, I was just like, handwriting notes out and my own instructions to things, and I'd try a transition, and they're like, yeah, okay. And then I'd try it like maybe 3 or 4 different times, and I'd record it each time, and then I'd hop off my decks, and I'd go and put my headphones on, and I'd just close my eyes, and I'd listen to one after the other, and I'm like, that one sounds better.
Really?
Why does that sound better? And then I'd like break it down and analyze and go, cool, because I started here, or I started like earlier or later in the transition point, brought things up quicker or slower, and that's how I taught myself.
That's a really good way of doing it. Because
it's probably the slow way of doing it. It's the slow way of doing it, but it's me. I like to understand.
For me, right, like when I was younger, when I first started getting playing pubs and bars and stuff with Tractor, because like Serato you can record through Serato, right? Yeah, so Tractor you can also record. So I was recording every set, and then I was going back and listening to all those sets in my car, home whilst I'm cooking or doing this and doing that. So that way I can go, that song does not work with that song. Okay, I'm not going to do that again, because I didn't really know much about like the key system, or because I was kind of self-taught to start off with. But then I had a really good friend who actually I followed him around. I just watched him play, and then I tried to mimic how he did it.
Yeah.
And so then from there, that's when I started, as I said, recording and listening. And then that, just from over time, that's how you really improve.
Yeah, absolutely.
You re-listen to what you're doing, you realize there's mistakes, and you go from there. So how long did you do that for?
So, and I was the 3 months, and I still... I don't do the listening to recording individual transitions anymore.
Yeah.
I still pretty much record nearly every set that I play, and I still listen to it back.
It's a good way of doing it. If anyone that's new to the scene that's watching, you should definitely give that a go. 100%.
Absolutely. I've recorded what I consider probably to be the best set of my life on Friday, just at home doing a live stream.
Yeah, give it a couple of months, and then you do another one this is better.
Yeah. This is my new best work of my life.
That's it, yeah.
So I'm just waiting I'll have one crescendo, and then I'll just retire. But I will always record my stuff. I'll always listen back to it. And so my SoundCloud channel, which is fairly strong for not being like, don't pay on promotion or anything like that. It's just organically grown.
Yeah.
And I'd have...
Can we pull up your SoundCloud? Is it Deviance?
Please? Yeah, Deviance Perth. Yeah, soundcloud.com/Deviance Perth.
Yeah.
So I think I've got like, when I last checked, which is about a month ago, kind of shocked me a bit, I've got over 460 mixes on there. So not all of those are mine.
Yeah.
Like a good chunk of those would have been from my live streams when I was running those for other DJs and stuff, but probably at least 225, 230 would be mine. And out of, I listen to them all every now and then. Some of them are terrible. Some of them I'm like, I actually used to play really, really cheesy EDM. I'm going to pull that one down. Like... Private link. Private link. Yeah. But there is, out of all those, so let's say 230 sets, there is not one set that I've played that I consider to be flawless. Really? Not a single one. Not a single one.
It's a good way of looking at it, though, because there's always room for improvement.
Correct. Yeah.
Instead of going like, this is perfect.
If you think like, oh, I've nailed it, that's it, I'm done. Yeah. You're going to stop growing. Yeah, you're going to stop being creative. You're going to stop experimenting. So, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Keep raising the bar.
So then what happened with the DJ competition then? Because like, did you rock up at the beginning of the night and listen to everyone or like...
Yeah, so well, firstly, when I read through the fine print and decided, yeah, look, I'll go because I just want to see what other people do. I was planning to like get booted off the stage, basically. That was why I've been playing in my bedroom for 3 months and my mum says I'm a good DJ. So what does that mean? That's not like, you're not Habitat fucking caliber there. But so I'm like, literally I was going for the experience and I was going to learn. And I mean, it was all quite overwhelming. But yeah, so after I submitted my mix, I think it was 123 people or something like that entered that year.
That's a lot.
My mix was accepted, so it meant that I got to play at Geisha.
What was the prize as well?
From memory, I think it was like a $700 voucher from Store DJ plus opportunity to
like play
support. Yeah, I mean, that could have led to further things, but yeah, to support an international artist when they came over, which that worked out in my favor, that particular one.
Okay.
But yeah, the big change for me was, I say I've had 3 months experience on the CDJs, but that literally was Serato based. So I'm like, I'm doing this, but I'm like staring at my laptop, just overlaying
having the waveforms right there.
So that's, I'm like, I can understand that. And then when I read the fine print, it's like, you can use laptops in the competition, but effectively you're going to be marked down. They might have been talking about like Ableton, like, fully synced mixes and things like that. I took that as I've got to get rid of the laptop. So I knew that the CDJs could handle like USBs, but I only had like 36 hours to actually get rid of the laptop and learn to mix properly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was definitely into the deep end, but it worked out. So went into the first heat and got through. Yeah,
sweet. That's really cool.
I guess the set, and my sets are still online. The entry set and the final, the winning set, which is good. So they're if you,
did you just take
if you search PoeticKinetics and then hyphen Habitat Habitat DJ Comp,
So did you take a recorder with you to plug into the mix or?
Because I didn't for that. I ended up redoing it at home.
Okay, yeah.
So I re-recorded. Nowadays, and since then, I've developed my own little kind of portable recording things. Like now, what like Evermix is. But I was doing that for years. So I could do that.
Because that's what sucks is like when you go out and play a set on CDJs, unless you bring your own recorder, like they don't actually record off the equipment, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the controllers do, like the RX. Pretty sure the XZ does. XZ, by the way, anyone who's looking to get a controller, don't go with the Newmark NS7. The XZ, that's the shit.
The Newmark XZ.
No, the
Pioneer XZ.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a beast, that thing.
Really? Can we pull that up as well, Damo, if that's right? So then you got through the first heat.
I say like the set that I put together, because I didn't even know what to expect. I didn't go to clubs. I wasn't a clubber. I'm like, well, I've got music that I like. I only got half an hour slot to play in. I want to play all this music.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to have to tighten up my transitions. And so I mixed 16 tracks in 30 minutes.
That's not bad. That's all right, though.
Which is quite quick. I thought I had definitely overdone it because when I had my set pre-planned with my cue points and everything like that, and tracks in order. I didn't just wing it, because for me it was important. I wanted to at least do the best I could. And then the other DJs were playing between like 5 and 7 tracks. I'm like, oh fuck, I've overcooked this. But it worked out. Yeah, it worked out. So I got through the first heat, came back, had the final. I genuinely thought I'd completely bombed out in the final.
Really?
Like my girlfriend at the time had broken up with me about 45 minutes prior to the final.
Holy shit, just dropping a bomb on you.
She called me, and she's like, when it's talking, I'm like, I've got an idea what this might be about, but I've got something pretty important on that I need to focus on tonight. Is it okay if we have this conversation tomorrow? And she's like, no, we need to do this now. I'm like, can we please do this tomorrow? I need to focus. No, we're doing this now. I'm like, okay,
my God.
fine. So I'm rocking up to the final, like, head spinning.
I would have just hung up and been like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this today.
Yeah, it was fair. That was coming, so that was fine. But I was not in a very good headspace at that particular point in time. Definitely wasn't in a good headspace during the comp. So apologies, Habitat and Geisha on the crew. I played in the final, and I literally thought I had made just an embarrassment of myself. So as soon as I'm like finished, because I couldn't even look up at the crowd. I was just like, nah, just doing my thing. But see,
that's what sucks though. Because like I had Genga on forever ago, right? And Genga really put it in black and white. Like I love that man to bits. He is just so amazing for what he does. But he literally put it in black and white on the podcast, where it was just like, if you've had a shit week, or someone's broken your car, or your girlfriend's broken up with you, or this or that, or whatever the scenario is, right? When you go to work as a DJ or as an entertainer, you just got to put on a smile and you got to do your job, because people see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and if you're so new to this scene, and it's right back in the day, and then you're in this competition, and she was like, no, but we're going to break up now 45 minutes before your final set in this competition. Then it's like, it will just send your mind off in bloody La La Land, because you're sitting there, got so many things on your shoulder, right?
Yeah, it didn't help. But I mean, back in those days, I was also making some pretty poor life choices.
Yeah.
I thought I'd completely bombed that out, my set. So as soon as I'd finished, I'd just grab my headphones, and I'm like literally going to walk outside the club and just take myself home and fucking cry into my pillow. And they're like, oh no, you better stay for the photos. I'm like, okay, this is excruciating.
Really?
And please don't pull up those photos. Those are embarrassing.
Okay.
And nobody else, don't Google me from back in that era.
What year was this again?
It's never happened. It's never happened. Yeah. And so did the photos, met a lot of great DJs through the competition. And then, as soon as the photos were done, I hightailed it out of there, went home, went to bed, and then I get a call from the lovely Kimmy at like 5:40 in the morning going, where are you? I'm like, oh, I've gone home. I'm really sorry. I know I bombed that out. I just got a lot going on, but I'm, sorry for letting you guys down. All the best. She's like, hang on, no, where are you? It's like, and I'm like, I'm at home. I've gone to bed. Obviously, I fucked that shit up.
Let me guess, you won,
and
right?
she's like, can you come back, because you won?
Oh my God,
I'm
fucking hell.
And I'm like, you're taking, that's just nut, that's cruel. Don't do that to me, I've already had a bad day. She's like, no, you actually won. I was like, oh fuck, okay, cool.
Well, that would have brought you up a bit, right? I mean,
no,
what?
I still thought she was taking the piss.
Really?
I'm like, well, I'm not going to win this debate over the phone right now, so just, okay, cool, we'll chat tomorrow. So it turns out it was the case, so ended up winning, which is
so you didn't actually go back. You just kind of like, nah.
it was confirmed. I needed to get my head around it. But so
that's amazing though. That's great.
From like your mum thinks you're a good DJ. I should get a t-shirt printed with that. To 3 months then in the competition. So that's definitely where I entered the scene and started clubbing.
What genre did you play it for?
Tech, for that it was Tech House.
House,
But some good gems. Stuff that I even play today. Like,
really?
There is wicked like dirty Tech House remix of Massive Attack. Teardrop, Massive Attack. Attack, Teardrop. Mr. Rich and Billy Kenny remix.
Okay.
It's belter. Yeah. So that. For me, that kind of was like, because I definitely have a big passion for trip hop as well.
Because trip hop is amazing. It had actually quite a big scene in Perth for a while.
Yeah. So that for me was like even though I didn't associate closely with as many of the friends I kind of grew up with in Perth, and we're all into that sort of stuff, I still was like, here's a tribute to them. So I'm like, here's a track that at least my people will recognize, and then with a decent dance bass line to it. So I like to do things like that. So that's my version of playing the cheesy stuff. Like, I'll put something in that's like, oh, that's recognizable, but it's like the remix from Hell. And
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. And so then you won, and then what happened after that? 'Cause I can't believe that. Like, you went home, you're like, nah, I fucked it. I bombed this and that, and then they literally call you up like, no, where are you? Like, you need to come back to the club. Like,
it was pretty.
That would have been so awkward as well. It's like, all right, can Gethen come to the stage? You've just won, and it's like, where is he?
Yeah, I feel like the biggest asshole ever. So that's actually not me. Normally, I'm quite a polite, well-mannered gentleman.
Yeah.
At times, but I felt pretty bad about that.
So what happened after that? Because then you would have got the international.
Yeah, so the international gig, well, supporting the international act. Which I didn't know who it was going to be at the time because Habitat hadn't locked in dates and the rest of it. And then when Flex eventually told me, it's like, oh, it's going to be Adana Twins, and I'm like, are you serious? Because like Adana Twins for me were the top 3 of my favorite producers at the time. Yep.
How do you spell their name? Adana.
Adana Twins. Adana Twins. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they're tech housey like.
No, actually, predominantly they were known for Deep House.
Really?
For Deep House, I'm like, this is okay, interesting. But yeah, they perked it up a bit, and I tried to do the right thing. Obviously, it's the first time I'm playing properly for someone, and supporting a big international artist. I asked Flex first. I'm like, hey, look, what's the protocol? Is it like good manners of me?
Radio.
Yeah.
I don't think I.
So they're that big.
They're the big,
yeah. Holy
so
shit,
they were, my top 3 idols in the scene at the time.
Yeah.
For the music of theirs that I'd heard, which is not necessarily like, it's not dance bangers. It's a bit more deep housey sort of vibe. And going on to, so I didn't have to open. It was good. I was handing over to them, and
so that's sweet. You were playing before them then?
Yeah, I was playing before them.
Did you get to meet them in the green room or hang out with them?
No, their English wasn't so good. Their English wasn't so crash hot. But because that was my first proper gig, I'm like, look, what's the protocol? What's good etiquette? And I'm like, I thought it would be a nice idea. This is not a nice idea. Don't do this if you're supporting an international artist. I thought, like, if I'm doing a handover, I'll keep it at a certain BPM. Shall I play, like, one of their tracks or a remix of one of their tracks to lead him in? Like, to go, here comes the Adana Twins kind of thing? No, you don't do that.
Yeah, you never do
There might be one track they're trying to play or something.
Yeah,
It might be a new, unrunreleased one or something. So, yeah, don't touch their stuff.
Did they kind of, like, go on stage and just, like, look at you and, like, you played one of the songs we were going to play?
Unfortunately, because I had asked Flex beforehand, and he was like, just, no, don't play any of their songs.
Yeah, okay, that's
keep it
right,
under, 125, 128. And I'm like, yeah, cool, no worries. I'm like, but I still need more info. So I messaged Adana Twins online and said, I'm green as I come. I was a bedroom DJ, but, I want to do the best opportunity, take advantage of this opportunity. So, if you've got anything you want me to stick to, a certain BPM, a certain vibe, even if you've got a specific track you'd like me to end on to hand over. And I was like, I thought that's being respectful. They didn't give me the time of day. They saw the message and it's like, nah. So I'm like, that means I can go to town, basically.
Yeah.
So I went to town.
So they can sometimes frown upon that as well, right? Because then if you show up, the act, like...
Yeah, so that might have happened a little bit. Not with my mixing skill by any stretch, but the tracks that I played were a lot more... Yeah, we're a lot more banging than anything I'd ever heard them produce or play before.
Okay.
And I was like, well,
Yeah, when is this opportunity going to come around?
I was being nice.
Again?
I gave you the opportunity. You could tell when you're back in my box and whatever. But no, as like they came up partway through my set and they were actually just looking over and checking out my track lists on the CDJs and stuff. And I was like, cool. All right, sweet. Then after I handed over to them, like, 'cause they were checking my tracks, they were watching the crowd. Like, the crowd absolutely was heaving. Did a good job. Good
Whereabouts
tracks.
was it?
I was at Geisha.
Oh, it's at Geisha again as well, yeah.
And they kind of went away, came back, and when they started their set, without them confirming to me, but I know they adapted their whole set just to go, oh, this is what the crowd's into now, which is great. So I heard them play some like darker, semi-techno kind of grinding stuff. It was great. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
And so what year was that again? Sorry.
So that was, 2014 is when I won the comp. I think it would have been the end of, it might have been about December 2014 or early 2015.
And so is that when you kind of realize that after you open for them, then it's like, okay, I want to be a part of this. I want to be involved. And
yeah, well, them and just the crowd feedback.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a great feeling being able to, I guess the way I look at DJing is telling a story, like telling your own story, even though it's like restructured words from wherever and other artists, but it's taking people on a journey of your own kind of description. And just I like to use every opportunity like that to share some new music with people. And that, it takes a few tracks to get in there, but just watching the crowd react to it, and not just drunk dancing because it's like a solid beat. They're picking up on the subtle cues and the extra stuff. I'm like, cool, people get it. That's wicked. So that for me was like, I want to spend some more time doing this.
Is it that night?
Oh, did you actually find it?
Yeah, is it November 8th, 2014?
Yeah, that'd be about right. Yep, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, that crowd is heaving. Like that's going off. Geisha is such a nice venue as well.
Yeah, it's my favourite club in Perth.
And it's just always been like house and techno and tech house and all of that kind of stuff, and deep house and everything. Like it hasn't changed really. I don't think. I think for a while they used to run a Wednesday night, I think maybe, and it was like more.
I think they were. So after I won the comp, they wanted me to sort of spearhead the Wednesday. I wasn't in the right sort of headspace for it back then.
No, that's right.
And that was backpacker and uni crowd. That's what they were looking for.
Yeah. So then, how did Deviance? Well, so the name PoeticKinetics as well. So how did that name come about? And then how did you figure out the name Deviance as well? Because they're both unique. Like, it's not like just like what the kids were doing where they were getting like a word and taking the vowels out and stuff like that. And, the silly like artist names, but
so. The first I mentioned back in like 1999 when I put together my first like compilation mix CD where I'd like cut and paste off of Wave Editor. Initially, like on the first day, I'd called that PoeticKinetics. I thought it was a nice word, and then before I actually started flicking that album onto friends, I'm like, actually, you know what? That's actually too good a word. Even that's the first time I've named anything. I'm like, that's too good a word. I'll just pull that back for now. And I'll call the album something else. And then, when I went into the Habitat comp, I'm like, basically the day before. When I sent in my submission mix, I'm like, because I was going under some crappy, cheesy name. And I'm like, okay, I'm actually just going to call myself PoeticKinetics. So for me, where I came up with PoeticKinetics is it's basically like poetry in motion. So being an artist, but with kinetic energy. So like momentum of something. So this has kinetic energy rather than no energy. So it's like smooth, silky, but with some substance and with some grit to it, which kind of describes how I like to think that I play.
No, that's a good way of looking at it. As I said, like it's a unique name and it's got a ring to it. So
thank you. It was unique, because I registered it in 1999 as a business name. I'm just going to preserve this. Ended up setting up a website for it, which I've closed that down since. And it wasn't until I started getting incorrectly tagged on like Insta and Facebook and stuff from a lot of big festival videos and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's really nice, but that's not me. And I worked it out that there is another crowd over in America. They started after me. They named themselves after me, called PoeticKinetics. And I'm like,
these guys.
And I'm like, oh, and I got really, really shirty with them. I'm like, hang on a sec, I've got this registered. People keep tagging me in the wrong thing. I had the Insta, I had the Twitter, I had all the handles. And I'm like, okay, before I fire off at them, let me do some research and see what they're about. And their use of the word, I think, is even more appropriate than my use of the word as a DJ. And I can't compete with these guys. Like, clearly, this is better than kick-ons at my house, that's for sure. So they do kinetic art, moving sculptures for like big stuff like EDC and things like that. So I'm like, you know what? Instead of me blasting them, I'm like, you guys can actually have the Insta handle, you can have the Twitter handle.
Really?
Yeah, I gave it to them. their stuff is on point.
Yeah, do they pay you as well?
No.
No.
At least go like, thanks, bro. In the DM, or they just like,
So they'll be like, we've been waiting for this. Yes, the
That's
moment.
it, finally. Like,
they blocked you. They said thank you. They blocked you.
But yeah, so I've still got the Facebook page, but the Insta and Twitter, which was the other ones that kept getting smashed on, I handed those over to them, which I think was they're established.
Yeah, look at that.
This stuff is big, and not only that, it's not just
now PoeticKinetics.
yeah, like it's if it was anything else, if it was just like if it was another DJ and they had named themselves after me, I'd be like, hey, come on, dude.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But this is. I'm sure, given that these guys are artists,
Burning Man.
yeah. So yeah, I'm not really a threat to them other than I've got their name.
That's it.
But I definitely like to think that they probably saw me online, saw that name online, copied it. I used to be on a lot of forums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they're artists. They could very well have come up with them themselves.
I can imagine though, you're getting tagged and it's like, what is this shit?
Yeah.
Oh wait. Oh, okay. This is pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then.
Yeah. So that's where PoeticKinetics came from. So I'm I still go by that as my DJ name.
Yeah.
Deviance, how I guess I founded that and why I founded that and where the name came from was, so after winning the Habitat comp, and I'm like, cool, great, now where else do I get to play?
Yeah.
There was not, you couldn't just go, hey, cool, I'm a DJ, I've just won a Habitat comp, can I have a slot, please?
That's it.
No.
I was talking about this on Friday,
yeah.
actually, with a good mate of mine, where Perth is so small, unfortunately. Like, it's like a big country town, and there's, like, heaps of DJs, but there's not enough work to go around, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it really comes down to, like, who you know and, like, what people that can trust you go, yeah, you do a good job, come play here kind of thing. Exactly. Or you make your own events.
That's what it led to. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I can't find anywhere to play at. I guess I'm probably not the only one that can't find anywhere to play at.
Yeah.
So I'll find somewhere to put on an event, because then at least I can play, and I'm sure the other people in the same boat as me who want somewhere to play would also like an opportunity.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hit up Conservatory at the time, which is Murray Street.
Is that upstairs Universal Bar?
No. So Perth rather than Northbridge.
Okay. Conservatory.
Yeah, it was above a Irish pub.
That was
it's like King.
Yeah, that was
King and
across the
Mar-
road from Capital and stuff, wasn't it?
That's
Yeah.
the one, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something else. It's not the Edison. I forget what it is now. I've lost track.
Yeah,
Lost track. I'm not
what
senior
actually was
citizen
that
now.
pub? Because they're doing renovations again on it again.
Flannery's. Oh, not. You're talking about.
We've been there before. I've taken you guys up there
No,
before.
Rosie O'Grady's.
No, it wasn't Rosie O'Grady's. See if you can find it. Like, do some digging, because
I'm trying.
it
doesn't exist anymore, man. That's the best I can
yeah, because as I said, they're renovating and everything, unfortunately. But yeah, that was the inside.
Yeah, that's the one. And they had the louvered roof which could open.
Oh,
which
really?
is-
It could
yeah.
open as well.
Yeah.
I had no idea they could do that.
Yeah, so I went there and I was like, hey, do you have any nights available for me to put on an event? And like, what night? And I'm like, oh, Saturday night.
Yeah. Yeah, just go for the
No chance, mate. No chance.
Yeah,
And I was like, what nights? And they're like, Sunday. we're closed Sunday. And I'm like, okay, Sunday. And then like, we're closed Sunday. I'm like, no, okay, Sunday. Come on, give us a shot. And they're like,
I was like, no, come on. Like,
there's a reason we're closed on Sunday, because Sunday bombs out. It doesn't work. And I'm like, come on, give us a shot.
yeah.
So I kind of put my balls on the line a bit. I'm like, look, I came to an arrangement with them, took some of the risk on myself, and it kind of, that's where things started. And because it happened to fall on a Sunday, and I didn't have a business name at the time, I'm like, well, Sunday is usually for people to be at home with their partner, with the kids, relaxing, getting ready for the work week ahead. Anyone that's out on a Sunday is a bit of a deviant. So I'm like, deviance. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah. And
Because once again, like, it's a good name as well, because it stands out. It's just like, with movement, it's like movement stands out, and all the other ones as well that are out there. So then, like, you started off with that, and then how well did the opening night go? Because did you do like heaps of Facebook promotion and like events?
Yeah. So this is actually a good life lesson. Whatever you do, whatever you actually do in life, whether it's your creative pursuits or your actual job or just your interactions you have with people, you can pick up little things from here, there, and everywhere. Now, obviously I had been running my own real estate agency. And when you're running your own real estate agency, you're responsible for everything. Like I was very much a one-man band with a property manager. But I was doing like the trust accounting, I was doing the photography, I was doing the listing, the selling, and the marketing, social media marketing. Yeah. So I was definitely one of the first real estate agents in those days to be advertising properties for sale on Facebook.
Really?
And I've worked out a few strategies from that, and then I'm like, well, if I can sell, multi-million dollar apartments, I can surely get people to come to an event. And so I used some of my marketing strategies that I developed in that, and just thought about things. So the first event was quite reasonable. Had some good events there. Yeah. Decent numbers. But what I did is that I managed to negotiate a happy hour for 2 hours to encourage people to come down on the right time. And if they wanted to, claim a buy one, get one free drink, that they have to check in at Deviance and show that to the bar staff. So, because I knew at the time that if you check in and they're tagging Deviance, it goes on their page, all their friends see it, and people will be like, who's this Deviance? What the hell is this about? Because I was nobody. I'm like, I've got to get my name out there, and it can't be me just going, hey, I'm Deviance, check me out. But if someone else is going, hey, this is Deviance, cool. So, yeah.
And so it worked out quite well then.
That worked out quite well. Yeah.
And so how many events did you do at Conservatory? And then
I've lost track now. I think in total I've done like across the board 20, 22, something like that.
That's pretty good, yeah.
So yeah,
that's really good
Conservatory.
Actually. Was it weekly or monthly or?
That one we did do weekly. Yeah, we did do weekly. And then that kind of eventually fizzled out. Had probably not the best, my own choice, but not the best choice of associates who are helping me behind the scenes. So yeah, that could have been run better. Put things on pause for a bit, then moved over to Hyde Park Hotel, which is not known for tech house.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
When I was chatting with the owner there, again, I wanted a good night. I actually wanted Saturday. It's like, no, Saturday's busy. Like that's the best night. And I'm like, oh, what do you have on? And it's like, oh, we have bands, just a few musicians, maybe a singer and stuff. And I'm like, oh, cool. So how many people do you get through? And like, 12 to 16 on a good night. I'm like, 12. Okay. What? Huh? Okay. So I waited about a month, and eventually was like, all right, I'll give you a shot. So when I'm hitting up a venue, I don't just rock up and go, I'm a DJ, I think I can play and I think I can bring some people. I send through like a 20-page business proposal where it's like, here's why I think I can do what I do. Here are my targets. Here's what happens if I hit my targets. Here's what happens if I don't hit my targets. Yeah. This mitigates your risk. So most venue managers will look at that and go, all right, that actually makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of just saying, give me a go, it's like you've listed everything out just in case.
Yeah. And I mean, it's for Hyde Park, I knew I'd be pushing stuff against uphill, because it's a pub. Yeah. It's not known for the sort of music I was playing. So that took a fair bit of marketing to get that up and running. But we had some big days through there, which was good, like well over 12 to 16
Was it
people.
out in the beer garden of Hyde Park? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because being inside, and it's like that's actual pub atmosphere. Because that's like with Conservatory, it's like that is a housey kind of venue. That was like, if it's still around or it's getting renovated or whatever, but it's like it's got that vibe about it. So then after that, because I ended up meeting you at Defectors, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Ages and ages ago when I was still a bit of a little rascal.
You and me both, mate. You and me both. Now I'm just a slightly taller little rascal, but that's correct. So things kind of had a disagreement with Hyde Park. Won't go into details there, but someone still owes me some money. So they thought they had me by the balls by not being able to pay invoices, and the fact that I was still marketing and promoting, and I was due to play that night. Yeah. And they're like, well, you can't. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, if you don't pay the invoices, you don't agree to this, then I'm cancelling the event. I'm not going to put the event on there.
That's it.
And it was like, go on then, do it. Thought I was bluffing.
Really?
And I was like, I'll find another venue. So I rang around.
Yeah.
Defected. Shifted everything over there within all the marketing, everything within 2 hours, and we had a decent event there. So
is that actually how?
That's how it worked. It was literally on the day within a 2 hour time frame of being able to find a new venue and switch over and drag everyone over.
Yeah. No shit. Yeah. Yeah. Because for people that didn't realize, so it was the Flying Scotsman, but Defectors was upstairs, and it was such a cool venue up there. Such a nice venue, and they used to throw. Oh, you pull that up. Okay.
I'm sorry, bro.
Out of everything, you pull that
I
up.
knew about this. Was that because Deviance went up too hard?
Nah.
You can claim that.
Too much bass. Too much bass.
Nah, so
Alright.
when that happened, right, it was fine. It just, no one was around, no one got hurt or anything like that. The floor opened up a little bit, and then the whole place had to get evacuated, right? Like, so for what people don't realize as well is that my uncle used to own the Flying Scotsman, and so with that, like, when he...
No one knows
What-
Flying Scotsman. It seems to be owning itself.
Oh,
That's who's buying
yeah,
its own.
it's now it's the
Oh.
Elford, so it's the Elford
Yeah.
Hotel.
Which is actually, it's now, I'm not going to say now, it's also a classy joint.
Yeah, that's it. But I find it to be a little bit soulless in a way.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean,
Queen's
it's got the
2.0.
bloody, this big screen TVs and, you know, watching sport and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They do need a cocktail, deep house DJ there.
Yeah.
They need to bring this. That was
Yeah.
the effect was wicked.
Yeah.
The effect was-
Yeah, good vibe.
Yeah, because it was just a Victorian style classic Chesterfields, like really really nice, cool. Like,
Yeah.
have you been upstairs the Elford yet?
No, what?
So I think it's just a function room. I think it's
okay.
only just for functions. That's it. Which, in my opinion, is a bit silly because that was such a good venue just to go and hang out and listen to music and do this and do that. So,
Yeah.
but it's just all changed now. And so might as well say as well, the only reason why my uncle had to get rid of it, right, is the real estate, the landlord, right, he actually kept trying to up the rent, and so the lease was coming to an end, and then he was trying to extend it. He extended it for like 2 years, I'm pretty sure. And then when COVID happened, that's when it was just like, all right, well, you know, fuck it, get rid of it. So we sold it for quite a bit, and
Yeah,
you know, he
cool.
made quite
That's
a bit of money out of it.
Nice.
So,
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So then,
Yeah.
what happened after Defectors then?
After that, I did a few more boat parties.
So you were already doing boat parties at the time as well?
Yeah,
or-
I'd done a couple before, a couple more, and then my life took a bit of a different turn. Probably not for the better, not so constructive or productive.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, good learning experience, shall we say? So I took time out of everything, time out of life, basically.
What happened? If, do you want to talk about it? Or?
I'm happy to talk about it. Yep.
Yeah,
Like I'm pretty open and public about stuff. So
Yeah.
I was battling an addiction. I had a meth addiction.
Okay.
Yeah, which was it had definitely taken hold, and it was a problem. Even though I was in denial, absolutely was a problem.
Because like you said before, though, you're like 3 years clean now, and like
Correct,
as to
yeah.
congratulations,
Thank you.
that's really good. Like,
Yeah.
That's awesome. But then like, how did it all happen? Was it just like peer pressure and then just fell into the rabbit hole, or and like was it after the Habitat or
Look, it was around all the same time.
Yeah,
It was all
okay.
around where things got bad and messy for me.
yeah
But yeah, my old mate, he kind of supplied something to me he changed what it was. Didn't tell anyone.
Oh, really?
Denied that it was meth, and then when I
So what, he's just trying to sell you coke or something and told you met.
speed.
Yeah,
Speed. So, which was that for me, like you go out, you could have a bit of that, you could go and have a party and dance, and then go home and everything's fine. It's not like you feel like you're stuck to it, attached to it.
Yeah,
Meth
yeah.
is different. Meth is nasty shit. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that very nearly took everything from me.
Really?
Ended up having such bad social anxiety. 2018, I left the house 7 times. I wouldn't answer the phone to anyone. Obviously, I couldn't look after my clients properly within real estate. I knew that was... I never did anything dodgy or wrong. No misappropriation of funds or anything like that. So
Yeah.
that was all sweet. But the fact that I wasn't getting back to clients in a timely manner, I knew I was letting them down. So I passed the rent roll on to another friend who owns an agency and just closed the business down.
Yeah, because so you were running your own.
I was running my own thing,
Yeah.
so which
But
there's probably a bit of stress to it that I didn't realize was stress, but
Yeah. But see, it was good though. Like you were doing everything legitimate though. Like you were trying to
yeah.
make sure everyone's looked after, and you're trying to do the right thing, even though you had demons in a way. That's like because it's not even demons. It's just like it's just addiction. Like
yeah, it was definitely a battle. It would have been, there's pros and cons to having gone through it. I lost a lot of friends. I hurt my family with that situation.
that's all good,
But my logic was, hey, look, I'm not really, when I was under the influence of that, I was like, I'm not really hurting anyone besides myself. Like, I skipped on a few, like, family dinners and birthday dinners because I was busted up and struggling.
yeah,
But yeah, in my mind, I'm like, I'm not really hurting anyone else other than, like, myself financially. and I'm sure I can stop at any time. I just don't want to right now. No, that's how it works. That's where it gets you. Eventually I hit rock bottom. Some pretty serious stuff happened, which was not my doing, but it landed on my doorstep and I had to deal with it, and it was very, very serious.
Yeah, okay.
And after I kind of resolved that, I'm like, yeah, okay, nuts. It's time to sort my shit out.
Yeah.
So went to a rehab.
Yeah, I was just about
a good
to ask
rehab.
that.
Yeah.
So what's actually rehab like?
There are many different rehabs. Like I'd tried one rehab before. I won't mention the name, but it's in West Leederville. That was rubbish. It was $750 a day.
A day,
yeah.
That's so expensive.
All they do is literally you're either in bed and they're overfeeding you. And I put on like probably 5 or 6 kilos in 5 days. It was crazy.
Fucking hell.
And they do a couple of little classes. One of them was like music appreciation. It's like bring a song along and explain why you love it. And I was frothing. And then when I'm going to my story and everyone's just like glazed over, no one gives a shit. I'm like, these are not my people. These aren't my people.
Yeah.
So I said to the therapist after that, I was like, this is all good, but I want some more substance. If I'm going to be here trying to sort my shit out, give me some education. Like challenge me. I need more.
Yeah.
And they're like, sorry, we treat you like vegetables here because that's what you are at the moment. I'm like, that sucks. That's sucks.
Fucking bad.
So that's a bit of a corporate entity. That's
a piss take, honestly. $750 a day, and they're just treating you like vegetables.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah, it's so that wasn't cool. So I skipped out of that after like 5 days. Went back and did some like daytime classes, which were a lot more substantial. So they were a lot better. So those were the outpatient sessions. Managed to stay clean for 3 months, and then moved back in with my girlfriend at the time, who we were bonded over that stuff. So that was a recipe for disaster. So when people always say you need to, if you're making life choices and changes and trying to kick a certain addiction, you need to stop associating with the people that
still on
that's either on it or supplying it or doing it with you or whatever. And the sad thing is there was that bond, and it's like a trauma bond. Everyone is like, we're all sad, we're all depressed, but we're doing this together. So you think that it's bonding. It's not authentic connection. It's bullshit.
Exactly.
It's just superficial.
It's just face value.
So I was in denial about having to cut friends off for a very, very long time. But fast forward a bit down the track, and when when I found my rock bottom, and I decided to do a bit more research and look up a rehab that was possibly might offer a bit more of what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And I came across Palmerston down in Wellard. So shout out to them. They're absolutely brilliant.
Really?
Yep. Saved my life.
Really? Okay, well, Damo's pulling it up now, but if anyone's actually looking for anything like that,
PalmerstonAssociation.org, I believe. So they've got, so anyone who is struggling with anything like that, highly recommended. It is not for the faint-hearted. It is not for the faint-hearted, man.
So what do you mean by that? Like, what do they do?
Well, basically, first there is, it's kind of like some classroom sessions where you can go, which are locally, they're based up in Perth, and they say that it's to learn a little bit about how the farm works, but in reality, they're sussing you out because there's only a limited number of beds and like rooms there.
Okay.
And you need to demonstrate that you're actually legitimately going to make an effort rather than just going to be a nuisance and a troublemaker and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So fortunately, I was attentive there, so I kind of got fast tracked into it. So I went down to Wellard, Palmerston, which is technically it's called a therapeutic community.
Okay.
So rather than just a rehab where they stick you in a bed and call you a veg.
Yeah.
No, it was like psychology, education, everything they did down there was brilliant. But everything when I walked through those gates, with like my life turned upside down.
Really?
Everything that had worked for me in the outside world, being in sales, running my own business, being attention to detail, being a perfectionist, got shut down hard.
Really?
Hard, yep. So, and I'm quite a sociable, affectionate person. Not allowed to walk on the grass, not allowed to hold hands, can't hug anyone, can't console anyone. It was super strict, which I thought, this is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't understand it for a long time, but when I finally came to terms with it, and definitely no swearing and no sex, none of that. Otherwise, you're off.
Yeah.
And there's also, you have like work periods. So you basically have chores every day, and you can, as you've been there longer, you get like better jobs and stuff like that.
Yep.
I actually didn't mind doing that. I didn't mind. I started at the bottom, like cleaning dunnies, stuff like that. Absolutely. Because you know what? When I went there, I hadn't been working for a while. I had lost all routine. You know, I was staying up all night, and then I might get up at like 11 a.m., could be 11 p.m., whenever. I had no routine. I had no structure anymore. So having to get up at like 6:30 and be there, dressed, bed made, like military style, otherwise you get in trouble, was very useful.
That just sounds good though, because even though you start off with the shit kicker jobs, it's building routine and it's like working your way up to prove your worth.
Correct.
To show that you want to do this, you want to be a part of it, and you want to, you want to kick it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and that helps internally, like to rebuild, because I'd lost all my confidence, like completely. I had such bad social anxiety. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. I'm like, no, I'm a drop kick. I'm done. So to be able to get that back is pretty good, and I'm still building myself back up. There's a lot I've got to do, like financially and otherwise, but and emotionally still doing some self-development. But
they would have taught you, and like as you said, the education behind it, that sounds actually really good.
It is I can't speak highly enough about them. So I was originally going to stay there for 21 days, which is kind of the bare minimum to, like, when people are out of jail and they're like, okay, you got to go to rehab to tick this box. That's kind of the minimum time frame. So I'm like, all right, I'll do that. I ended up at my own request, and my parents were allowed to come down, excuse me, once on weekends, just for a short visit, no phones initially and everything like that. So it was a very big change for me, very big change. But yeah, instead of the 21 days, and my parents are like, "Oh, you've done that time, aren't you fixed now? Aren't you cured?" I'm like, "No, actually, you know what? Like, my parents were helping me on the outside world with mortgage and stuff like that. I'm like, there is probably no better time in my life than right now to learn as much as I can about myself." And so I ended up staying there for 6 months.
6 months, wow.
6 months. And there was group sessions there, and you get awarenesses and recognitions. And awarenesses are not necessarily a bad thing. They're an educational thing to, bring things to your attention that you might be doing wrong. And me, when I was like hedge cutting, and I used to love that. I used to absolutely love it. And I'd have the sharpest looking hedges there, and, any tradies would come through like, "Oh, that's a good job." And then I get taken to group the next day for being a perfectionist.
Oh,
because
really?
perfectionism is a distraction from working on myself.
Yeah,
which
okay.
Is, in reality, probably true. Yeah,
but that's
part of my mask.
But that's kind of, that's it. It's part of the psychology behind it in a way. Like, that's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's so turned my world around, because I walked in there going, look, I'm a relatively intelligent person. I'm going to nail this. And I'd heard about the awarenesses and recognition system, and I'm like, I'm going to just clock those recognitions just by being a good boy. No, I had that so backwards. I'm pretty sure I might have ended up with 5 or 6 recognitions after the 6 months. 130 awareness, 130. Wow. I got hammered, man. But by the end of it, the counsellors they've been running the farm for 50 years. So they know what they're doing there. They're not necessarily all qualified full psychologists, but they're counsellors and done their certs in community services.
Yeah, somewhere within that field.
And there are proper therapists in there. And they have their structure. They have their structure for the awarenesses and the recognitions. They've been using these for 50 years, and I can never let anything go. I kind of challenged them on a few things, but I'd had to earn my stripes first. And by the end of it, before I left, they'd actually come to me and said, "Okay, well, if you reckon you got some better ideas, let's hear them." And so I was like, cool, well, this is how I'll rewrite this to create a better outcome. And they took it away. I don't know whether they were just initially just trying to shut me up. And I'm like, well, no, I'm going to do this properly. You've actually given me an opportunity. This is the only opportunity I'm going to get. And yeah, like a week later, they're like, okay, we're rolling out these new, this new system. Went off like a hit. Absolutely. Because I was an addict, and I still had fragile but semi-business mind. I was like, yeah, I can structure something that is looking at the micro and macro scale, which is giving, the farm and the therapist what they need, but also translating it in a way that has like small recognitions and things like that for the actual for the patients, for the
just to
for the guests
benefit
who were there.
everybody.
And it was just shorter, simpler, more productive, much more impact, and worked really well. So that's something I'm pretty proud about.
Yeah, that's actually amazing though. It's really good because it's like it worked out really well. It turned your life around, and it's like it was really beneficial.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I've heard so many stories about how rehab is just almost a joke sometimes. But it's like that one you said in West Leaderville.
Yeah,
that is a joke. Yeah. That's what I thought they were all like in a way.
So, yeah, I feared they might have all been like that as well. But yeah, therapeutic community. That's where it's. So rather than the counsellors or the groundskeepers going, hey, stop doing that. It's basically people who've been in the program for a bit longer. It's like peer support, peer mentoring, and you pull each other up, which takes a bit of getting used to at the start because everyone's like, you're not going to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
But
it's the whole.
It's there for the system is there for a reason.
Exactly. It's to build like a better person in a way. It's not even to shape you and make you like some sort of like army soldier or anything like that. It's to make you actually like just understand yourself, like you said, like to develop your own personal being and like come out amazing.
Yeah, it literally, like, even my addiction aside, I'd said to the people at the farm, I was like, addictions aside, like, is there something like this where people who don't have an addiction can go, would absolutely benefit everyone.
Yeah.
It wasn't specifically focused on the drugs. It was the underlying shit as to why we feel inadequate or why we feel insecure or why we turn to drugs in the first place.
Yeah.
As being one of the options, but it's all that shit, all that lead up. Childhood trauma, for whatever reason, and everything. But I learned a lot about myself, and I went in there going, like the day I walked in there, I was like, I still felt like an alien. I still felt like an alien in my own social network. I had some good friends, but I still feel like I see the world so differently to everyone. I actually don't really fit in. And so drugs for me was a way of bonding.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was bonding, but what I actually worked out was more disguising the fact that I'm lacking that connection. And the hard thing is that, human connection is something we all crave. And also being authentic and being vulnerable for most people is scary as shit.
Yeah,
it's absolutely scary as shit.
100%,
So I was like, I'm keeping myself guarded, but I'm wanting to connect, and I'm missing that connection. So I do drugs to mask the fact that I'm not getting that connection, when I didn't realize the two were so intertwined. I was like, oh, and I've got my vulnerable stuff, and I'm just going to keep, that's my own secrets. I'm keeping that shit to myself. It's backwards. Like the minute, and that's why I'm here now, being vulnerable, being open, because that's now what I'm about. You can't build authentic connection without being vulnerable.
Yeah.
So you've got to take that risk.
That's exactly it.
And then it's like, cool, well, I've now taken that risk. This person could have screwed me over. They could have posted my dirty secrets all over Facebook. It's happened before. Or they can still be there and be my friend. And then that is where you build those connections.
Yeah, the relationships
so
and
the
the
risk
whole lot.
that you take. So,
but that's exactly it. You have to actually be vulnerable. Like you have to, if you don't try, you don't know. That's the thing about it. And like being social, so many people do get social anxiety and they just don't know how to like behave in certain circles or do this or do that. But like I have always found it's like, if it's an awkward situation and you're not awkward, then it's not awkward. If someone's feeling awkward, don't be awkward, because then you're just feeding into that kind of like that sphere in a way, like that circle. But if you're going at a different angle, you address it and you're going at a different angle and you're just pretending like nothing's wrong, well, then everything's fine. It's the psychology behind just being social and like,
There's so much we are not taught in schools. Well, definitely back in my day we weren't anyway. That I think is missing.
Yeah, 100%.
Sure.
Yeah. I'd say even today's day and age as well, with education and the whole lot. Like it's just crazy because like, I find the best way to go about life is to go in the deep end and go and get like, a shit kicker job, go work as a glassy or a bartender or do this or do that, because then you understand like how the world works. Like if you stay in university for like, you do 2 degrees and you stay in there for 7 years, you miss out on that development of everything else that's going around the world. You stay in like a little bubble almost.
Yeah, absolutely. Book smart, not street smart, and missing all the rest of it.
Exactly, yeah. And like, you have to be mixed. You have to actually like You know, because like I can tell you are really intelligent, and then it's like you've got your street knowledge as well about you. Like you know how things work, and then going and doing stuff like that, it's completely like I'm amazed. Like that place sounds amazing. Like it sounds like a really good option for people that are battling. You know what's going on.
It is, yeah, it definitely is, and I know like firsthand. I know that meth is still a big problem for a lot of people. A lot of people, not just in the music scene, but you know, it's rife. They're judges, politicians, all sorts of.
It's everywhere.
All sorts of people.
That's what people just don't realize. Yeah. It is literally everywhere. Yeah. And like they just keep it under. They just hide it.
And that's the problem. Therein lies the problem. So, you know, when I went to rehab and I got my phone after 2 weeks. So you have phone privileges for like I think it was an hour. Half an hour. After 2 weeks, which is good. I needed to disconnect from Facebook, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I went, you know what? And I spoke to my mum and said, look, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to share my story. And she's like, you can't do that. You can't embarrass the family. What about me? What are my friends going to think? And I'm like, you know what? If this is part of why I've become an addict, because I've been hiding in the shadows and I've just been doing things quietly without the outside world knowing and just keeping it a secret.
Yeah.
If it didn't keep it a secret, and you're out about it and just public about it, then people can bring things to your attention. They can keep you on track. And I tried to take some of the stigma away from it, because if I didn't tell anyone what I was doing, I was like, I'm going on a 6-month holiday. Sure.
Yeah, holiday.
Like, holiday. yeah. And like that it'd already be like people would put, you know, 2 and 2 together. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to own it. I'm going to own it, and I'm going to out it. I'm going to out myself. And my way of sharing my journey, which I did on Facebook, and I've done it a couple of times with a couple of different incidences.
Yeah.
That for me was letting people know that, yep, I'm battling with this. Yeah, sure, a hell of a lot of shame with that, but I'm working on building myself back up. And also that was me saying, look, here are my boundaries. So basically, I'm working on kicking that habit. Anyone who considers themselves to be a friend, basically don't bring that shit around. Like I've made it very public. So you bring that shit around my house, goodbye.
Yeah, that's it.
Goodbye.
See,
that's not the support you want.
See, like I was explaining just before we started as well, like I've had it on a part of my family side, right? Like I'm not going to disclose too much information, but it literally destroyed part of my family, and it just like it just turned things a bit upside down, and it just put a whole new perspective on things. And then like I've been in similar situations as well, where it's like people would try to bring it over and, like, you know, smoking at my lounge room or something like that, and I'm just completely not okay with it. Like the only thing I'm really okay with is just weed, really, because like how many times do people get in fights when they smoke weed? It's like never.
They're too lazy to fight.
That's exactly it. They just want to watch movies and laugh.
Fight for me?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Munching some fucking CCs.
But that's exactly it. And it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, being public about it and owning it as well, that makes you a better person, because it's like you understand and you're there being like, well, am I just going to just pretend and I'm just going to make sure, like, you know, just hide the facts.
Put on the mask again.
That's it. Yeah, put on the mask. Yeah. But then it's actually you being open. It's just like how we just pulled up that what was it called again?
PoeticKinetics. Palmerston, sorry.
Palmerston. It's like, you know, as I said, people need to know that there are places that aren't just going to treat you like a fucking vegetable, and it's like they can actually help so much. Like,
absolutely.
Like,
not easy. It's not easy there. It's a culture shock, absolute culture shock. And a lot of people don't last more than 2 days. But
look how it's managed to, they spat you out as like, you know, a fully functioning, like, you know, you've been 3 years clean, and it gave you a whole new perspective on life as well. Like it actually, like, you know, it fixed everything for you by the sounds of it.
There's still and will be for some time, some more work that I need to continue doing.
Yeah. But you understand that.
They helped reset me and my internal, my value, my self-worth and my values.
Yeah.
And I left there no longer feeling like an alien and that I was bad or I was wrong because I was different and I didn't fit in. I was more like, you know what? Sure, I'm quirky. I'm a bit eccentric. I might see the world in a little different way and I might behave in a different way, but I'm actually okay with that and I'm proud of what I'm about.
Yeah.
You know, I try and help people. I try and, you know, not screw anyone over.
That's it, yeah. But see,
so
that's what I...
It was a whole mindset shift.
That's what I say to a lot of, like, you know, not a lot of people, but, you know, sometimes when people are feeling out of place or they're feeling like alienated or weird or anything like that, I just say, like, the world is weird. You know, you're not the only one. If you've got anxiety or depressed or this or that, you're not the only one out there that's suffering from similar things.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't have to feel like, you know, sometimes obviously like it's actually in their brain and they try and actually like go out and be social or do this and do that, but then they can't physically do it. But to always have that thought in the back of their mind where it's like, I'm not the only one. So me being not the only one, then it should be okay. Like, you know, like there are places and there are people that you can talk to and the whole lot to actually try and understand yourself a lot better.
Yeah.
Because it's like what you said as well with like Facebook, like you had to like completely disconnect from Facebook, right? The thing is with social media, you know, Facebook, Instagram, everything, TikTok is like the worst at the moment, but it's a black hole.
I can't dance good enough for TikTok, so I just stay off that.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I'm just not downloading it. It's Chinese spyware. but the thing is with that though, is it's literally a black hole. People develop depression and anxiety and everything, all these problems because they sit there and then going, well, they've got a Lamborghini. Why don't I have a Lamborghini? Or like, you know, look how pretty she is. Why can't I be pretty like that? Or like, look at that amazing dress. I wish I could afford that dress. Or, you know, like all the little factors that build up into it that 100%. Just people get wrapped up in the crap. But it's like people don't actually live in the real world. They sit there and they just sit on their phone and they just like think, that's the real world. And that's how like it's changed everything. And it's caused so many problems in society and like, you know, as I said, mental problems, health problems, the whole lot. Like, and unfortunately, like it's not going away, but it's the education behind being able to go like, you know, try just turning your phone off and actually like experiencing what's going on. And it's the same thing as well with addiction. Like I've had friends where they just like they can't go out without having pills or MD or drinking like, you know, stupid amounts. It's like, why don't you just go sober? Like when I used to go to Capital all the time, right, to go and hang out with Death Disco, I would literally go there sober and be sober the whole night. Because one, I was I was scared of making an ass of myself, but also it's like when you're sober, you can interact, socialize, do this, do that, and you're not like using it as a crutch to be able to like be social. Yeah. But then I've had friends as well. It's like they can't go and DJ unless they have a 6-pack of beer, but it's like that's your head telling you that you need to have a 6-pack of beer to go up in front of 500 people and go and play music. Why don't you just, you know, you conquer that fear, and then when you get off that stage and you've just played completely sober to 500 people, you go like, maybe I didn't need it. Like it's all a mind game. It's literally all just a mind game at the end of the day. So yeah, like that's amazing. Like it's actually like it's such a cool story, honestly.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I'm still a story evolving and learning.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying as well. Like to be able to go from there, and now you've left, and you still know you need development, you need to do this, and you need to do that because you feel like you can be better. That's even better. That's more amazing because instead of just going, I'm fixed. I'm all good. And it's like that's what a lot of people do. Yeah. They have that crutch, so they sit on their phone or whatever, and then it's like, I'm all right. But it's like, no. Like, you know, you need to understand yourself. That's why a lot of people do like, you know, they go to LSD or mushrooms and all these different things to like have that psychedelic experience to understand themselves better. But once again, it's another crutch. You got to live in reality. You got to live in a sober world. That's, you know, it's just going to damage you later on potentially. But yeah. So, all right. All right.
So it's now sponsored by Palmerston Association.
Yeah, that's it. Palmerston, if you're watching.
Palmerston.
Yeah. We'll wear your shirts. We'll put posters up and stuff.
We're definitely not allowed to take shirts there that have like crass slogans or anything like.
Really?
So last thing on the rehab. Yeah. So the day I walked through the gate, I'm like, I'm going to wear the most inappropriately appropriate shirt that just tells the world who I am in rehab.
Yeah.
And I've walked through the gates with a t-shirt that read, I shaved my balls for this. They're like, come with us, take that off. What else you got in here? No. Oh, wow. I was left with like 2 t-shirts and a pair of pants or something because everything else was inappropriate. But yeah, that's fine. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. Here we are.
Well,
present day.
we have quite a few comments, don't we?
We do, yes, we do. At least Kate, this PoeticKinetics work is incredible.
Yeah.
Angela, HRV.
Oh, cool. Shout out to Ange. That's my new missus. She's adorable. She's lovely.
Oh,
very good.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm, as a couple of friends have said, I'm batting above my weight, for sure.
Is that right?
She's out of my league, so maybe I just won't let her get her eyes tested or anything like that. So I'm just like,
Angela, if you're watching.
Yeah. Well, she knows. She's only here for the rabbit, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can tell, like, you know, you got a good misso by the sounds.
Yeah, no, she's solid. She's great.
Marty James Smith, so proud of you, G.
Shout out, Marty. And
then-
pretty much all the party peeps. So
And then shout out to Mr. Saul Bliss as well, by the
Yeah,
way. We've
hey,
still
Saul.
got this, and I'm keeping this. Like, I start almost every episode with this thing that you gave us from Manifest, by the way. Like, Saul is an absolute legend himself.
yeah,
I have to just
he's,
do a massive
he's an
shout
icon
out.
in the scene for sure.
Like,
man.
he is such a cool guy. Like, when I first moved to Perth, right, like, I started, like, looking at all the, like, since I DJ'd down in Bustleton, just doing house parties.
Yeah.
When I first moved to Perth, I was like, well, how do I get into the scene? How do I do this and do that, right? So I started adding a whole bunch of people, and I added Saul forever and ever and ever ago. And I always saw him on Facebook and was like, I wonder who that guy is. And then I actually got him on the podcast, like, yeah, no, your name lives up to the, you know, to the who you are. Like, you're a fucking king.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like,
definitely.
really, really cool guy. And I really hope Manifest happens again, because that was such a wicked
Yeah,
night.
it was wicked. Just,
Right.
I won't drink and fly my drone this time.
Yeah.
Got my fucking drone stuck up a 40-meter tree. I was an idiot. Yeah.
You were flying a drone that
I was
night?
flying a drone, yeah. I probably took it out a little bit too late, and I was having some drinks, and like two friends are like, because I mean, the Manifest crew, they'd asked me to take some footage, and I'm like flying the drone, and a couple of friends are like, watch out for that tree, and I'm like, yeah, I got the tree, and then another friend comes over to me, and she's like, having a proper chat with me, like, watch out for the tree, you're gonna, like, it just, and I'm like, because I was drunk, I'm like a little bit distracted, I was like, I got this, and I'm like looking at her talking, and I'm just like, full stick, and it's like, boom, stuck in the top of the tree.
Well, Saul just asked, is it still in the tree?
No,
you
my
got it.
dignity's still in the tree. My dignity's still up at Manifest. But yeah, I got my drone back. I climbed up the next day and actually got that back. So, which that was.
You climbed up the tree.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm a nan up man.
Yeah.
I'm a nan up.
And
Like,
what
I used to
was
live
like
in a cubby house.
Didn't you
Fuck.
say it was like 40 meters up or
Yeah,
something?
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
35,
holy-
40 meters. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It was decent.
Tarzan. Like, yeah.
Yeah. That was a good effort, but I had to get it back.
So Lee Mack actually just brought up something very interesting. So let's dive into that, because you rent your equipment out, right?
I do.
And you were one
you.
of the first people in Perth.
Ron Reed. One sec.
Oh, wait, Ron Reed, yeah.
It takes a lot to be open stuff about this stuff, because Ron Reed, and he has a great haircut.
Shit,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, Ron, shout out Ron and Michael. They are my hairdressers.
Okay.
So,
Alright, yeah.
and they also, like, big props to them, because they, when I first left rehab, I wanted to do some work, actually like volunteering, and Ron and Michael, they founded Perth Homeless Support Group, which
Okay.
is a charitable organisation that collects clothing, food, and then they would go out every Sunday morning at Wellington Square and hand it out to people in need. So I joined that, and yeah, that kind of thing's progressed from there.
That's really wholesome.
Yeah,
That's-
went a bit bigger than just handing out food, which is all I thought I'd mentally be able to do. So yeah, that was good. It was also confronting, like handing out food, doing the right thing in Wellington Square, and then seeing some people that I'd been to rehab with, like, coming through the line. It's like,
Yeah.
shit, this is
Yeah,
this is
but
hard. This is hard. But yeah, like they're great. They're also like hairdressers, so I can thank them for my shiny wig. Yeah.
yeah, there you go. And by the way, as just Saul just said, so everyone look out for Manifest, which will probably be at the end of the year, hopefully, or maybe next year. I don't know. Saul, help us out. When is it?
Yeah.
When is it going to
Give
be?
us a day, come on, man.
Yeah, give us a date. When's Manifest on?
You should know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but while we're waiting for Soul Bliss to
To help.
Check his diary.
Yeah.
You'd like to talk about the CDJ?
Yeah. So
Yep. So
You got
yeah,
the-
they're beautiful.
because you're one of the very first people to get a set of them, right?
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah.
Quite possibly. Definitely with the mix that I bought with it as well. But yeah, I skipped the Nexus 2s. So I had Nexus 1s. My first kit got stolen.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, shady. Some, yeah.
Yeah, but still, that's like 10 grand's worth.
That was 14.5 grand. It was 3 CDJ 2000 Nexus, the DJM 900 SRT mixer, my AIA headphones, cases, everything. Yeah, shafted me.
Fuck, I'm
Yeah.
sorry to hear. That
No,
sucks.
Yeah,
but-
so that's, but you know what? Like stuff like that, definitely bad. Definitely bad. And while I had systems in place, protocols in place to sort of negate that, the headspace that I was at the point in time, not thinking clearly, I didn't enforce a few of my policies, and as a result, egg on my face. So,
So this is from renting equipment out.
this is
That's
from
got
renting
stolen.
equipment out. Yeah. So, apparently it got stolen out of his car
Yeah, bullshit.
So,
No, they
like,
wouldn't flog that off somewhere or kept
yeah,
it. Yeah.
absolutely. I ended up seeing him on Marketplace and the rest of it.
Oh, you did end up seeing a
I seen it,
Marketplace.
I got on
Did
Marketplace.
you chase them up?
I sent someone around there to confirm,
Yeah.
and they, like the serial numbers were spray painted over. The Kensington lock had been snapped at the back. So, but even from looking at a photo online, I can see any small scratches in the platter and stuff. Like, your own equipment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, when they left my possession, ended up buying a second-hand set of Nexus 1s and a 900 Nexus, but the Platinum Edition.
Okay.
So picked those up for a good deal. Had them for maybe a couple of years, I think.
Yeah.
And because of the market at the time, I ended up I had them for 2 years. Managed to rent them out and then sold them for basically what I paid for them.
That's really good.
That's an investment. So second-hand Pioneer Nexus equipment, probably not Nexus 2s, but yeah, the Nexus 1s they still hold their value now. Like, try and get a set for under $5,500, which
Yeah,
I
that's it.
paid $4,500.
I just still can't get over how expensive Pioneer is, though. Pioneer is.
It's a bit overpriced, especially the 3000s now. Like, I was in Store DJ, lovely people, very
Store DJ is amazing.
They're great. They know their stuff. They got great products, and it's obviously they don't set the pricing. Pioneer does, but they've jacked up the price to the 3000s now to 4,750. It's like for the whole set, it's now like pretty much $2,000 more than when I bought my set.
Really?
Yeah. So it's just under $16,000. It's like 15,900 or something like that. So they're expensive.
So just quickly as well. So like, you're renting your equipment out. So how did you get into that? Because when it got nicked and stuff. So like, was it just through Deviant's page and you were like offering to rent it out just to like bedroom DJs parties, or like what actually is involved?
Where it started basically is I like Facebook Marketplace. I'm like looking at things, I'm seeing stuff for sale. I'm like, well, I don't want to sell it, but I'm not necessarily using it all the time. I kind of need some pocket money, so who wants to rent it?
That's it, pocket money.
Yeah. And then also the Perth DJ buy and sell page. So chatted with the moderator of that, and it's like, look, I know you're about buying and selling, but would it be okay if I put a little spiel in there about like renting? And I used to, and still do, try and look after the industry as much as I can with regards to pricing. So I definitely made an enemy or two within the hire industry.
No, really?
Yeah. I got accused online of single-handedly destroying the hire industry, the music hire industry. And I'm like, that's maybe just change your business model, mate.
That's it, yeah. Be smarter
before
about
I even
it.
had to reply, I had 40 people just going, no, mate, back in your box. He's looking after people. His prices are the best. He's good to deal with. So I won't mention any names, but that's... so that's kind of how things started. And the DJ buy and sell page has been great. So, I was renting out my Nexus 1s for initially $150, $175 for a night. Yeah.
That's a bargain.
Yeah. So
that's a real bargain. Like,
yeah. I mean, I eventually put it up to 200. And I mean, now that I've got these, and these are obviously they're quite a bit more expensive as an outlay. So I rent out the full set for $300.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, it's not a great return on investment for me, but I can't make it too cheap that people don't appreciate what they are. But yeah, I think $300 is for
that's
that,
really
like 16 grand's worth of equipment.
That's really fair.
Good.
Like for a house party or anything like that.
Anything, events, just no bush duffs. I don't hire bush duffs anymore.
Yeah,
or beach parties.
That's it. The dust and the mud and everything that goes along with it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, anyone else, whether they're a promoter. So yeah, shout out Lee.
So what's the business model with it as well? Like, so when someone rents it out, do they have to give you the address of where it's going and what's happening and
photo ID and a copy of the front of their bank card?
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So again, because I know that I've been a DJ, but obviously being a promoter as well, like every dollar counts, everything's expensive. You're putting your balls on the line when you're trying to run an event, especially if you're paying an international artist and then locals as well. Like everyone needs to get paid.
Yeah.
And people want to play on decent equipment. So, I try and make things as affordable as possible for people. And also without having to go, all right, I'm going to need, because I mean, even $1,000 bond, that's not getting my equipment back, is it? Like,
exactly.
It's $1,000 bond. It's 16 grand's worth of equipment. So, like, there's absolutely no point in doing that. So I just say, look, I need a photo of the front of your credit card, so I know you're legit. I won't touch it unless you don't bring the equipment back.
Yeah.
So, and then,
But then, so
photo
what
ID.
actually is the insurance policy on it? Like, what happens if someone spills drinks on it? Do they pay for it to get repaired?
Yeah, if someone does cause damage like that, then that's up to them to actually get it repaired.
Yeah. And then, so what happens so if they don't, then, because I mean, if you've got the driver's license, then you can kind of report them, because it's legit, right? You're renting equipment out under, do they have to sign anything at all saying that if they do fuck it up, they have to actually...
Oh, no, it's just in text messages and things like that, so
Yeah.
I probably need to retighten up things like that. So,
But still, that's still evidence, though, because then if you did
there's
take
enough
them to
evidence,
court,
but I mean, cops do jack all. Like,
Yeah,
they're like,
unfortunately,
man, it's a civil matter. Even when I knew exactly, like I had we'll say an IT friend track down the location of where the people were and where the equipment was, and yeah, I just like went and told the cops, and they're like, sorry. I'm like, it's there.
Yeah.
It's there. It's all dodgy. Here's everything you need. Yeah, no, sorry.
That's so
I'm
bad.
like, can you deputize me or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing with cops sometimes as well. It's just like, you know, when they're out in the street and they're like walking around Northbridge and stuff, they're doing the right thing. Or if they're getting responses to like a violence or, something's actually serious going on. But when it comes to things like theft, they don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Like,
there's probably like parts of the law and reasons why they don't get involved in certain things that are above my pay grade.
yeah.
But yeah, no, cops in general do a good job.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
So I'm not anti-cops. I'll just say say that.
Yeah, I'm not anti-cops either. Yeah. Yeah. As I just kind of said that.
Yeah.
I just found it just down in Bussa. It's like, they'd always just pick on P-platers and stuff. So it was just my perspective. It was like, God damn, I'm getting pulled over again. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm trying to go to a house party. So how long have you been renting equipment out for? No. Good couple of years?
Yeah, well and truly. It's definitely the first person on Marketplace and buy and sell page to be renting out stuff. I don't know now, like 6 years, something like that. Yeah.
Fucking hell. 6
So
years.
Even at the cheaper rate, like my first set of Nexus, which I, brand new, paid 14.5 for, they actually paid itself off.
Yeah, really,
So,
the whole
yeah.
lot. That's really good then.
So, there's risk in it, but also, and that probably took a couple of years to do that, but being able to help the scene as well, I feel good about that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Stuff is expensive, and especially if it's like a bedroom DJ who wants to get prepared for a big gig, and they don't have the equipment. I make things cheaper for people during the weekdays so they can just actually practice at home.
How often do you rent it out? Like, is it quite busy with that?
With the new equipment, sadly, I probably should have kept the Nexus ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just as a backup, they were definitely a better financial investment.
Okay.
Because most people are familiar with those. So they might have XDJs, or they might have 2000s on non-Nexus or something like that. But they're familiar with them. The 3000s, people are too scared.
Really?
People are too scared to hire the damn things. So it's not until they've actually come around to my house for one of the one or two kick-ons I might have had.
Yeah.
And they like get to smash away on the deck. So they're like, oh, it's actually it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Because when I saw that they finally got 8 Q buttons, it's like...
Yeah, well, it's straight up like dual headphones. So it's a back-to-back mixer. So, 6 channel.
Can
so
we
you
actually
fit a lot
plot
in
the
there.
V10?
Yeah, go away.
Yeah, so it's the... Yeah.
Let me put like a
Yeah, that one, yeah. Yeah, because that's the thing, is like, no one I know in Perth, I've never seen one of those in person, but it's 6 channel. It's not 4 channel.
Yeah, 6 channel, 4-band EQ. So if you scroll back up a little bit for us, please. Yeah, yep, cool. So,
it's got...
yeah, so basically it still has it's the same frequency range, but they're smaller increments. So instead of just having your mid range, that's all spread out over 4.
So wait, Damo, can you circle your mouse around it? So we've got like the highs, the mids.
Yeah, so very top is your the very top dials.
So the
your input
dials right at
selector,
the top,
and then under the grey ones there. Sorry, the grey ones are the gain. So that's the channel gain.
In the center.
Basically, where the VU meter is, where the orange to white to red lights, those dials in there.
these ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So all
that
those,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So most Pioneer mixes, I'll say, not necessarily Allen and Heath and the other stuff, but most Pioneer mixes historically have only had like a 3-band EQ. So your bass, your mid, your treble.
Yeah.
Some might think this is overkill, and I think probably when I first bought it, I'm like, this is overkill. I'm actually a yuppie. I'm a wanker. I just got shafted. But then I actually learned to play it, and I'm like, oh no, they've done a solid job with this. It's brilliant. So there's just so many ways you can just finesse a transition on this mixer. It's just it's absolutely beautiful. It's completely changed the way that I mix now. I've changed my style to suit this mixer.
And so does it have more like effects as well? And like...
does have more effects, yeah. So which can get confusing as well. So it's got a couple of new effects. If you scroll down for us, please.
So on the right hand side there.
Bottom right, so it's got a couple of new ones. Like you've got Shimmer. I forget what the other new one is. But here, for anyone using this mixer, the older versions of those effects on like the Nexus 900, Nexus 2, and Nexus 1, you've got the filter dial there, but then you also have a channel selector dial, which is like which channel or which master you're going to send it through to. Instead of having the dials now, they've opted for buttons. So those red ring buttons at the top, that's how you enable that bank of effects for whichever channel.
Okay, yeah, that's smart. That makes sense.
It's great, but it's something I need to explain to people each time, and when I forget to explain it to people, because if you scroll back up to the very top again for us, all right, zoom in a bit on the right hand side. Right hand side, yeah. So that the kind of the top main dial, that channel select. Some people think that and completely understandable, but some people think that must be the channel select for those effects.
Yeah.
And it's actually the channel select as to what channels you're routing from the mixer out through the digital output USB, i.e. my live streams. So we've had a recent incident where I didn't explain that to the DJ, and he went, "Oh, this must be the effects." And left it on channel 1, so we had 50% of a mix. So it's just like one track's coming in, and then it's just like silence, and it's just bopping away because it's just like feeding one channel out rather than the master. So yeah, I put tape over that. Might just pull the whole dial off because I don't want anyone touching it. Yeah,
no, that makes sense.
Stay on master. Yeah.
So diving into the live streams then as well. Yep. So why did you start doing that? Because like you did quite a lot of live streams, and you did like the green screen and all the cool little funky things.
And it started as a pretty crappy thing and then sort of grew. But honestly, the reason that I wanted to do something online is because of my addiction at the time, which I was hiding from everybody. But my social anxiety was that debilitating that I wasn't able to leave the house anymore. I still wanted to support the scene. I wanted to be there for people, and people were like, "Oh, why aren't you coming to my event?" And I'm like, I can't leave the house. Can't leave the house. I'd be like online shopping. I'll go for another time and bring food home, but I just couldn't leave the house. And I'm like, I still want to be part of the scene. How do I help still? How can I, do something for people if I can't be out there full time running events? So I'm like, I'll try and get the scene to come to me. So I knew there were a lot of DJs out there who, and as we all know, not enough venues, not enough slots out there for them to play. And so I was like, I called 3 of my DJ friends, like probably the heaviest, biggest DJs I knew within my circle at the time, because I wanted to, and I had to convince them, obviously, because they're like, "What do you mean online? Where? Huh? What just explain this." Yeah, obviously, because DJ live streams was not a big thing back then, and chose 3 DJs. I had an hour each. It was all, semi-consistent music that flowed together. And after the first one, I was booked up for 6 months in advance.
Really?
Until I stopped it. Yeah.
Wow.
So and I didn't charge people for it back then, and also didn't pay people. I might have supplied like a carton of beer or pizza or something like that every now and then, but it was costly to run them.
Yeah, exactly. Of course. It's just straight out of your own pocket.
Yeah, but it was a good opportunity. It was good. I taught myself a lot in that field as well, so I'm now a lot sharper, a lot slicker.
Yeah.
It created. So I ran it for almost 2 years, the original Deviance live streams, and in those, I calculated in that 2 years, I have provided slots for 176 DJs.
Wow. Yeah. So you've had 176 people come through your doors.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and a lot of those no-name bedroom DJs who at least then had a presence. They had a video that was online that if they've got a promoter that they're trying to hit up, they can go, "Hey, look, well, here's a video of me."
Exactly, yeah.
So, yeah.
Because that's what it really comes down to sometimes, is like you need some sort of evidence to be able to say like, "Look, I can actually do it." But instead of just saying like, "No, just trust me, I know I can do it." And the thing is with that as well, is people need a foot in the door in a way. And if you help open the door for them, well, then you never know where they could be at the end of the day.
Exactly.
That's like one of the reasons why I love doing this, is because I get people on that are like, we've had a band called Jonah and the Giants on, and so they're like a folk, like really classic kind of like chill band, right? But then it's like not long after they started getting a Triple J and started doing this and doing that, and they're touring and all sorts of stuff. And it's like, hey, I knew them. They came on here once. Like, and it's just so cool because it's like you meet so many people, right? And through the 175 people, you would, I can imagine, met people that went off and just started playing gigs, right?
Yeah. So I've done my bit to try and help people in there as long as they can mix. If they rock up and they're a sync DJ, I'll just kind of quietly say to them, hey, look, do you want to come back for some lessons or something like that? So
you do offer lessons?
I do. Well? Yeah, I'm doing lessons, providing lessons.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool.
So it is on the new equipment. So it's throwing people in the deep end. But yeah, it's that's going all right. That's going all right.
And so you're still doing it now as well?
Yeah. Okay. Providing lessons these days. So. Currently teaching my adorable girlfriend at the moment. We did have first little back-to-back session after a couple of drinks on the weekend, so that was cute.
Yeah, that's very cool.
That was cute. So it's almost like she was going to learn to DJ whether she liked it or not, but she actually happens to like it, so that's convenient.
That's good.
That's convenient.
It's like, if you're going to date me, you're going to learn how to DJ.
Yeah. It's going to rub off on you, I'm sorry. Yeah.
So then how often do you practice? Like a week or like?
Well, because at the moment I'm no longer in real estate, reassessing my whole life and direction in regards to that, which I can dig into a bit deeper, but I'm going to change industry. So at the moment, I do have probably too much free time on my hand. So whenever I get hold of new music, I'll just bash out a new live stream just to try and small glimmer of hope, just to try and remain relevant, create some conversations online and give other people opportunities to play. So these days, because my setup now costs me a bit more, not only in the hardware but to run it as well. It at least cost me two and a half a year. So that's
to run the live streams.
Yeah. So
really, I mean, we
you probably use OBS and
OBS and Restream. We pay like what? I think it's 300 or 400 a year or something like that. That's it, just so we can just stream on multiple platforms.
Yeah.
How the hell does it add up to 2.5?
Oh, look, it can be done completely for free. So even without Restream, if you look into Nginx.
Nginx.
Nginx. But
we got the
okay, you're going to need to pay him to research this because, all right, it took me a long time to get it up and running. You need to know. You need to know. Yeah. So there's Nginx. Yeah. It's like a hacker's dream. But you can build your own. Basically broadcasting server, and then you can just specify where you want to send it to. But it's not an easy setup. And at the time when I set it up on my Lappy, there was even NBN over here at like 100 over 40 megabit. The upload speed was not enough. So you actually need to rent one of those like server farm type things, a dedicated, like I think ocean pool, something like that.
Holy shit, okay.
Yeah, and then you can just install that on there and run it as a server, and then it's like a digital virtual thing, and you can send it out. But Nginx is free, and all the other plugins are free, but it's not like click here to install kind of thing. Yeah.
No, it sounds very complex, but yeah.
For me, I use a different option for my live streams. I use Switcher Studio. So everything's done from iPads and phones and stuff like that because I've always had iPhones around. I find the iPhone cameras are pretty decent. Yeah. So you can adjust everything.
Do you find that they get pretty warm though after a while, like the iPhones, and like they can only go for it because the battery would drain on them, right?
Yeah, they got to be plugged in. Yeah, they're definitely got to be plugged in. And where possible, turn the screen brightness down to minimize the overheating. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the real battle for me was getting the green screen software to run on my phones. It just kept clapping out, and even on my iPad Air, and I'm like, this is, and they've stopped developing it. I'm like, and it was the best one. It really worked for iPhone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they've stopped developing, and they're not responding to like bug requests or anything like that. I'm like, I'm gonna buy a new iPad and cross my fingers. So I forked out and bought an iPad. And then, no problems. No overheating issues, no nothing. So, works a treat.
Yeah, okay then.
Yeah.
And then how does it work being able to feed that into your computer? Like,
don't need a computer at all.
Really?
No. So you have, it can be a phone or it can be an iPad. But I've got an iPad which runs the green screen software, and then I screencast the whole screen, which you got to turn off your menus and things like that. Screencast that whole screen to my other iPad, which is like a Director, which is like OBS basically. So it's an iOS version of your live stream software, where you can add all your inputs, and everything's kind of controlled from that iPad and straight out to the net. So custom RTMP servers, you can send it to wherever you want. You can send it to an RTMP server and simulcast to Facebook or simulcast to YouTube or anything like that as well.
Yeah, no shit. Okay.
Yeah, but it used to be cheap. It was like $99, and when I first discovered that software, I joined the little user group, and there was probably like 60 people in there. I don't know how many now, probably 20,000 or more. So it's blown up, and they're like, oh, we're making bank.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. No, that's amazing.
But it's great. It is very, very good software.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might have to pick your brain another time, because we're looking at trying to actually get into stuff like that. So more so live streams for like venues and stuff like that.
Yep.
But like we're just trying to actually like, develop from the podcast into more things.
Yeah,
so,
cool.
And
Cool.
like we got offered to our live stream Blossom Festival.
Nice.
And so we're thinking about it, and we're going to give it a go, but we're still just like putting the pieces together because we're so new to it all. So
yeah, no, cool.
But
That's
then
a good project.
yeah, well, that's it. Yeah. So as I said, I might actually hit you up and like
For sure, man.
Yeah, chat you. Yeah, get you over for a meeting or something maybe.
Yeah, no problems. I'm just try and shut me up when I'm trying to talk about nerd stuff.
No, but it's all interesting.
I love it. Yeah.
Because like at the moment, Mitch, who isn't here at the moment, like he's kind of like he's the brain house for us, and like like we're investing money and we're trying to get it going, but it's still a little bit away, so a little bit of a while away.
Yep.
But jumping to like COVID and stuff like that, because I really wanted to talk about like what happened with Boxing Day.
Why I no longer wear a suit and tie.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And I sit at home doing live streams all day.
So like, because COVID hit everyone, and it hit everyone really bad. Like for me, I had a proper breakdown. Like it was just fucked. Like I went from just DJing every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and my life, it's just what I did. I just wanted to make people smile, have a great time, play music, and like play gimme every Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of thing, right? At pubs and bars and everything. But then when COVID happened, it was like, well, nothing's open now. Lockdowns and all this shit's going on. We had no idea what was going to go on. If it was like going to be horrible, or heaps of people going to pass away. Like more, like I was expecting 3 times, 4 times the amount that actually passed away from it now. But then it's just like it just took the hospitality industry for a ride, and it just basically like it damaged it. It really damaged it. But then like what were you doing during COVID? How was it for you?
Yeah. Yeah, I adapted my lifestyle a bit during COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was one particular infamous boat party
Yeah,
that I put on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might have been on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that particular one.
Cause like
It was, it was planned for the Boxing Day. Sold a fair few tickets to it, and
well, just before we fully dive into that, though, like, so you were throwing events and other parties as well.
Just ad hoc. I'd actually put things on pause. I'd gone back into real estate after coming out of rehab. Went back into real estate for a couple of years. So I was doing that as my main job.
Yeah.
And then I just did a couple of parties here and there.
Yeah, because like how we were talking right at the beginning, like the beach rave and stuff like that. Do you ever throw raves like that at all? Because like when I went to that, I was like, "This is cool." Like that was pretty cool. Like,
yeah, look, that was basically for a mate's birthday. It's like,
oh, really?
And we'd done one for another mate in the group's birthday, which we'd literally just taken speakers and generators and stuff like that and decks down there.
Yeah.
And he, that first mate, I don't think he was able to go to the first one. So I was like, "Oh, cool, we'll do one for your birthday." And we did it. And we had a decent turnout. So I've only done two beach events like that before. Okay. People are wanting more. But
yeah, they're good fun. Yeah,
they've got to be, say, not exactly in the public eye.
Yeah, that's exactly
a bit. Yeah, they've got to be a little bit discreet with those sorts of things. So yeah, DM me. Yeah, slide into my DMs. Yeah. But I've got something else coming up. Doing a collab with Sunset Events.
Okay.
So shout out Scott Lings. I will be putting some details out in time, but that'll be one to look out for.
You want to check out, yeah?
Yeah.
So so fast tracking then. So to the boat party Boxing Day. So what actually happened? Because you were in the paper basically, right?
Yeah, man. My ugly my name and everything plastered all over national news.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
like you were popular.
I was. infamous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say popular. I misjudged. I've definitely misjudged that one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd booked the boat, and I think it was a Wednesday or Thursday, like talking maybe 3 days before the event was due to happen. Paid a decent amount of money, and then I was watching TV and I just caught the end of a press conference which was talking about COVID and some new restrictions, and I heard like no dancing. Didn't see the whole thing, and I'm like, shit, I need to see this. I need to see what the full details are.
Yeah.
So I phoned up the charter company. I was like, hey, did you catch the full press conference? What's the situation? And at that point in time, I had put a pause on all the tickets. So I told people on Facebook, look, don't buy any more tickets right now. If we're going to cancel the event, 100% everyone will get like straight up full refund. But just give me give me a bit of time and I'll just work out, if we can still do it or not. The owner of that particular charter company, he phoned me back after doing his research and assured me, yep, absolutely, 100%, no problems. The size of the boat, the capacity, the openness of it, don't need masks. Everything's all fine to go ahead. There's the usual different legislation.
That's what I mean, though. It's like, so he's telling you it's all okay, but then you're the one who copped the fine. Like, you're the one who you got hit with it.
Yeah. So
like, their company should have just taken the hit because they allowed it to happen.
I even offered to go halves with him in the fine, and he sent me a cease and desist letter. So
really,
fuck you, mate.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck you.
Holy shit.
Yeah, absolute asshole. So the only reason I felt confident enough to go ahead is during that phone conversation. I'm like, look, I'm still not sure, man. I don't know. I don't know where this is going to leave me. It's what is the legislation? What if there's problems? Like, at the end of the day, you're a client of the charter company. They are the company themselves. They're the ones who have the license, the permits and everything like that. Words from his mouth. I accept full liability if anything goes wrong. Cool.
Full liability. Yeah. And
no chance.
And just backed out.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was another small step before that. So, obviously, I'd then relaunched the ticket system. Tickets sold out straight away because, obviously, other big, more well-known events like Breakfast, everything was not happening, probably for good reason.
Because as I said, it was all up in the air. No one knew
no one knew. The fact that he that particular owner of that company gave me, an assurance that he accepts full liability. And I knew there could be some people pissed off with me still putting on an event on that day. I also, inside, I could see on the face of everyone around me, like, how many people were being affected by COVID. And it's like everyone's fun had been taken away. And it's like, we're talking Christmas time. No one can do anything. Like, Boxing Day, everyone looks forward to being able to go to a big music event, some sort of music event on Boxing Day. Yeah. It's a tradition.
Yeah.
It's a tradition. So I'm like, well, I need to at least try and create that opportunity for people to go.
Yeah.
I mean, the charter company obviously knows clearly what sort of parties I put on. It's not a sit down and, it's not a yarning circle. It's people dance.
Because it wasn't the first one.
Wasn't the first one.
Yeah, that you've thrown there.
Fourth, fifth one on that same boat, dealing with the same guy. So he knew what sort of events I put on there. After the tickets have all sold out, because they sold out straight away, and then coming up to the event, I can't remember if it might have been the morning of the event or, I think it was the morning of the event, possibly the day before. I got a cheeky text from him going, "Oh, technically dancing that may not be allowed." And I'm like, like, this was the time to tell me back then when you phoned me, mate, and say technically dancing's not allowed. Okay, cool. Can't dance at a dance party? All right, I'll cancel it. Give me my money back.
Yeah.
Arsehole wanted to keep his money.
Of course,
So he waited till that was paid, and then I've sold all the tickets. And I've gone, oh, we've checked everything, it's fine, everyone's cool. Anyone who doesn't feel comfortable with due to COVID, no problems, let me know for refund.
So dodgy.
And I sorted them all out. And then wait till it's too late to then say, oh, this is can't dance. So, from that point, sure, I then took the risk, but he hadn't said that he doesn't accept liability anymore. So he's a money hungry
piece of
asshole.
shit. Yeah. Absolute piece of shit. Like, that is just baffling because you're on his boat. You're not at, you're not on the beach where you've set up and the cops can just rock up. You're out in the middle of the Swan River on a boat, right? On his property.
It is his, but look, at the end of the day, I was the promoter. I was the person arranging the DJs, which are going to be playing music. I was selling the tickets to bring people on board to more than likely dance.
But I reckon though, like if you would have done that at a nightclub though, right? The nightclub would have copped the flack. It wouldn't have been you.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That's it. Like if it was at a venue, a specific venue, then it would have been like, this venue through a party instead of going this event through a party at this venue.
Yeah.
So it's like, as I said, it's on his property, it's on his boat. He should have got the fine. But you probably find that since your event copped the fine, right? If he would have copped it, it would have been like 50,000 or something like that.
So, all right. Technically, Deviance is a PTY company.
Okay.
So the fine, the fine could have been a lot worse than what it ended up.
Yeah.
But look, I definitely take a lot of responsibility with the way that I responded initially. My first media statement, my media release was I misjudged it. I misjudged it big time. So I presume that because everyone was so happy with the event and like lots of people even missed out, I presume that more people were happy in general with something being able to occur on that day, like an event to be available.
That's it, because everyone was in lockdowns and doing this and doing that, and they just wanted to party and have fun.
I thought I was doing a bit more of a community service, and then when obviously some footage got leaked to 6PR radio.
But you also posted, didn't you? You told me before that you told everyone, don't post anything social media, keep it hush-hush.
Yeah, but look, at the end of the day, I mean, that's not going to necessarily 100% stop anyone.
Exactly,
Someone could have missed that post or whatever. So no one's to blame for the footage getting out there besides myself. So there's no problems there. It was probably bound to happen. It was bound to happen without like confiscating everyone's phone. So not about doing that. But yeah, when the radio station first hit me up, like first thing one morning, and they're like, "Oh, we need you to come on air and respond to these allegations."
So it was just in the morning. You just got a phone call.
Yeah. So it was like sometime down the track, like 4 or 5 days down the track, and they're saying, "Look, come on air and actually respond to these allegations that you've directly and deliberately breached COVID legislation." I'm like, I don't think I've deliberately, but probably grey area. And they're like, "We have footage," and I was like, "Okay, well, if you want me to provide a statement, send me the footage so that I know what I'm talking about." Because when I was at the event, and they're like, "Oh, people were told to, you were telling people to dance." I was like, "Absolutely, I did not say that. There is no chance that I would say dance." Like, did I stop anyone dancing? No. Did I tell anyone to dance? Absolutely not. But yeah, they wouldn't send me the video footage, so I didn't really know what I was up against. And I'm like, "Oh, well, here's my statement based on I'm still trying to do my bit for the community and create a space for people." And that backfired. I look like an idiot. That backfired big time. Yeah.
Why did it backfire though? Because it's like
so I was speaking up against legislation basically. I call McGowan McGrinch for taking away Christmas and fun. So I was being a bit of a smart ass in there. So I've matured a little bit. A little bit since then. So you know what, that I copped. I mean, when you end up as a trending thread on Reddit, you know you're fucked up. Right? I was getting trolled. Apparently I'm a Trump supporter at a anti-gay rights fucking.
I hope you can find it, Damo. Holy shit, you were
so
trending
I haven't
on
even
Reddit.
gone there. I was getting calls from people. I'm like, I'm not gonna look that up. I know people are hating me. That's fine. Cool.
Oh, the fuck?
Wait, you found it. You were trending on Reddit. Oh dear. Oh dear. As I said, you're popular.
Yeah. I'm surprised people aren't making memes out of me. Oh, that's my thing. That's what I do. All right.
Like, you were very trendy back then. And look, there's Deviance response.
There's nothing worse than Reddit. So if Reddit hates you, must mean you're a good person.
But I mean, the thing that I did, so I put out my media statement based on not having seen the footage and thinking of that I misjudged the situation, and then when I copped a lot of flack from that, rather than going, all right, backpedal, tear up that, pull down the media statement, I'm like, no, I'll leave that up there. Now that I've thought about it more and I've factored into people's reaction, the potential impact I could have had to other promoters as well, which I am apologetic for. I stuffed up. So I kind of owned that. I left the media statement link there. It's still there. People can go and read it. But there's more recent information I posted above that as I see where I went wrong now. And I was you know, I knew there was a chance I could have potentially been putting people at risk. And if someone had contracted COVID from that boat party, I would have felt devastated.
Yeah.
Absolutely responsible.
But
fortunately, there was none.
Yeah,
People were making all sorts of allegations online.
But
That's the internet. Yeah.
Did we even have any COVID cases over here at that time?
There were some French backpackers who...
Oh,
I don't think they... I've heard from my French girlfriend that wasn't exactly as portrayed either. So,
yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was the media spin on that as well.
Yeah, people were alleging that there were cases that have come from our boat, and it's absolutely.
But see, that's what I hate though. Is like they literally people grab a story and it's like Chinese whispers, and it just like spreads, and it just misinformation, and it's not exactly what happened. Just like with the French backpackers thing, I can't remember exactly what happened, but it was nothing compared to what the media put the spin on. But it's because they need to change it up so it sells. So like. Bad guy, bad, he's done this, blah, blah, blah. All right, there we go. We've got views and we've got clicks and we're making money now. And it's just a joke at the end of the day. Because the media is propaganda, basically. News and social media, it's propaganda to dumb or like to actually like, you know, entice the, like I said, like what we were talking about before, you know, oh, look at that. That's entertaining. This is entertainment. Oh, look at that. People dancing. I'm liking this. And it's like, it's bad. Like, it's really bad.
Yeah, I agreed.
So you only got a $5,000 fine from it then?
Yep. So, by the time it had gone to the radio, and then obviously I put out the media statement, the radio station, they obviously the way I wrote my media statement, even though it was contradictory to what they were probably expecting, I'm relatively articulate when I write or try and say things of importance. They then called me back and they were like begging me to come online, on air with one of their more important hosts and share my side of the story. And I'm like, send me the video and then I'll decide.
Yeah.
They sent me the video and I'm like, whoops. So it definitely wasn't me, but there was someone yelling, "Dance, motherfuckers, dance."
Oh, there was someone
yelled that. I don't know who. It doesn't matter. It was yelled. It probably looks like and sounds like it was me. It definitely wasn't, but I'm like, yeah, okay. I can't sidestep that now. Someone on the boat was at my event was saying that. So
how many people were actually on the boat?
74, I think. So a few people, didn't rock up, which is common with boat parties anyway, but it might have also been other COVID and whatever. 74 people on there. So when I eventually copped, the detectives from the WA police rock up at your door and they're like, "Don't worry, don't do a runner." I'm like, "Man, I'm in my PJs." Like, well, so you know where I live. It's not like I'm going to do a lap around the block and come back in when you're gone. No, I'm owning it. I stuffed up. I'm not going anywhere. So I owned it, and I was honest with them. I told the guys the situation, the whole situation.
Yeah.
And there was two detectives there. One of them, the older gentleman, he was very, very decent, very switched on, very decent, very understanding.
Yep.
His young rookie.
Yeah, of course.
Someone should leash that guy because he's like, "Oh, so is it a business or is it a private kind of running it under your own name?"
Good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, and I was like, "So what you're really trying to find out from me is, can you charge me under the corporations COVID legislation breach, or can you charge me as an individual?" No, nothing to do with that. So then why does it matter? So look, it's a business. Here's my ABN. It's all over Facebook. That's fine. And he's the older guy was, I'd say, a lot more decent. And he basically shut the other guy down, and he's like, "Look, let's just work on this." After our kind of doorstep interview, they said, "Look, what I'm going to try and do is suggest that it doesn't go to court, and it'll just be a $5,000 fine. If you can get approval for that." I'm like, "Oh, you know what? If you can make that happen, I'm not going to hold you to it. It could just be something you're telling me. If you can make that happen, fantastic." Because I did the calculations based on if I was fined under being a corporation, $1,020,000. $1,020,000, yeah.
Holy
per
shit.
person dancing plus other bits and pieces, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So the fact that they actually let me off, they had to make an example out of me because I was the idiot on news setting a bad example.
That's exactly.
So I was setting a bad example. So I had to be held accountable, and I had to be used as an example of what not to do and what happens when you do breach those laws. So 100% fair enough. Like, I think I got off lightly.
Yeah, that's really good though. That's really good. I can't believe it would have been that much if you were as a corporation, because that would have stuffed your whole life up.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
And definitely the market for feet pics on my OnlyFans channel is not doing so well at the moment. So I would have been working for like, I don't know, 5 centuries maybe.
Yeah, but it was doing well at one stage though, right? Damo, are you hearing that? Yeah. Yeah, but wow, okay then. Well, we're running out of time though.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, we've almost been going for like 2 hours, right? Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like
Good-
there's so
good-
much
good
content.
There is.
Like so much content. Same date, long weekend. Lock it in, everyone.
Yeah.
Damo,
like that.
pull up the old event.
Manifest was rocking. That was good.
Yeah, let's pull up the old event.
One read, an amazing soul, Gethen James Sullivan.
Thanks, Ron.
And
Oh,
the Mac Internationals demand that gear these days.
really? Well, the 3000s and V10 and stuff. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Lee hired for one of his Techno events. So probably more of those in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold the date. Yeah, that's right. You showed the date. Manifest. This is on the Shire of York's official government page.
Are you able to pull up the Facebook event at all?
I will. No,
Oh, no, there we go. There's the logo. And so, yeah, it was the 6th of March, 2022. So, 6th of March, 2023, Manifest 2.0. That was such a wicked event,
Yeah,
though.
it was great.
That was
Really,
so
really
much
well
fun.
put together.
It was a very good event, and yeah, really good.
Like, I found it quite funny, though, like, how with the event, it's like, because we rocked up to, like, set up all the live streaming stuff earlier on, and it was like they couldn't serve alcohol until, like, 6 p.m. or something like that. And it's like, how do you tell everyone that rocks up, all right, you got to hold on to your horses, like, you know, hold on to your seat. Alcohol's available at 6 p.m. And like people got there at like 4, I think it was, or something. Like,
yeah, it's lucky it wasn't a Woodstock 99 thing.
yeah, that's exactly.
See that? That's shocking. Yeah.
Shocking, man.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is one of the videos. So
This is the 5th day. So this would be.
is this your drone?
No, I did some drone work mainly around the building itself.
Yeah.
So I sent through some bits and also with my 360 camera of some of the dance floor.
Well,
I'm not sure what actual footage got used.
360 camera as well.
Yeah. Also can live stream. So if you're talking about doing live streams from events,
Yeah.
you want a 360 VR live stream camera.
Yeah.
That way that anyone who's looking at it on Facebook, they don't just have what you're looking at. They can actually look around
exactly
the whole thing.
Interactive. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
This is a long podcast.
Yeah.
This is a long podcast.
Hey, shout out to Elise.
Like, how amazing.
Yeah.
Very good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah.
Can I give like one little
Oh,
plug?
you can
All
plug
right, cool.
anything you
All right.
want, of
so
course.
could you do me a favour, please?
Yes.
So there's a young drum and bass DJ who I've encountered, and anyone who's actually listening, I'd like you to check this guy out.
Well, tell him to
So-
come on here as well, potentially.
Yeah. Well, we're in the process of getting him set up to play his first gig out, and it's almost one of those crying shames. Like I bumped into him at a house party. I'm like, this guy throws down.
Yeah.
I'm like, so where do you play? I haven't been able to play anywhere. I don't know anyone. Don't know how to get anywhere. So I'm like, all right, I'm not big in drum and bass, but I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
So he's played a few live streams for me. So shout out to Obscure, fucking mad legend.
Obscure. Okay.
Yeah.
What's his actual name?
Cayman. Oh, maybe I won't say his surname.
No, it's
but
all good. Yeah.
yeah, no, lovely bloke, really solid. But yeah, if you look up Obscure DNB on either SoundCloud or Facebook, there'll be links all over my stuff as well. He's it's a good egg, and yeah, does really well. He was a controller DJ until he came over for one of my live streams. First day he came over, I maybe spent an hour just familiarizing himself. Like, so going from a RX to
This is him here?
yeah. So yeah, one to watch for sure. Like he's very good.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, that
And
sounds cool.
Yeah, he managed to get his head around going from a RX controller to like my 6-channel V10 and 3 decks within an hour, like from that change. So, and then came back the next day and did a live stream. So, yeah.
Very nice. Okay. Does he produce as well at all, or?
Not at this point in time, I believe. So, yeah, focusing on this particular section of his craft. Yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
He is now. We put him in the
Yeah.
link is in the chat.
Nice. Thank you.
Can we also put the Deviance page and everything in the chat as well? And then just one last thing as well before we do go. So then, like, creating the page, like, how was it like trying to be on top of the social media? Because I mean, you probably had the experience from the real estate side of things as well.
Yeah.
But like your page is very detailed, isn't it? Like from what I could gather, no,
it's just full of spam. Live stream spam, and my own feed is full of my own meme spam. So yeah, and at the moment I've got quite a lot of time, but social media for me is it's not a hard thing. You know, just gotta not get disheartened when not everyone reacts or whatever. Just like, I'm putting this out there because you know what, even if and it might be a sentimental quote, it might be a piece of art, it might be a live stream. And even if just one person watches it and they're like, yeah, I appreciate that. Even if they don't even say anything, but they're just like, yeah, that's cool. If you brighten someone's day, fucking job done.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what matters, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, we're running out of time. So, I
Cool.
just want
Right.
to say thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for
this has been
the opportunity, mate.
an amazing episode because we've dived into so many different topics. And, like, the whole rehab thing as well. Like, honestly, I've been blown away by that. Like, that was really cool to actually talk about, like, a place that actually will, like, you know, benefit your life and actually help you out. And then actually talking about, you know, somewhere in West Leaderville that treats you like a vegetable. It's like the two different opposite ends of it.
And also much more affordable as well.
Yeah.
Palmerston, I was able to do it on Centrelink, basically.
Really?
And still had like $110 left after each fortnight.
Wow.
That's
okay.
including like bed, meals every day.
That's really good then.
Yeah, it's such a good system. So
Yeah.
I was actually a bit more self-reliant and sorting my shit out there.
Yeah, instead of just being a money grab. So, because $750 a day is nuts.
Yeah.
That is absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just goes to show that there are some dodgy bloody companies out there that don't care really.
They're preying on people, taking
Yeah.
advantage, which is
It's just
they're
not
taking
right.
advantage of the parents and the family who want to support and help that person get better. But they're just like, cool, all right, plonk them over there, sit in the corner, you'll be right.
It. Yeah.
Nah, fuck
Because
that.
see, something I was quite baffled about as well is I started working for the ambulances when I'm back, like to get my student hours up for my diploma, right? But like going to some of the nursing homes, similar thing. Some nursing homes they don't give a shit. Like they literally treat you like crap. But then some nursing homes, they really look after you and they're like really nice about it. But it's just so sad to see, like, you know, you take an old guy to a nursing home and he just gets a bed and just like left alone.
Yeah.
And it's
sad.
just, and the state of them as well, some of them is just ridiculous. Like it's dirty, it's filthy, and they don't get looked after or anything. It's, you know, they should have this standard where it's like, you know, it's just across the board, this is what it should be. Instead of just like falling below that and then just like
It's not
mistreating
enough independent regulation.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Or spot checks, whatever they need. But yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or audits or whatever it is. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate the opportunity. So
like, yeah,
thank
as I said, this has been really good. So, and then we'll get you back on like in a year or so or something like that, and then
yeah, for sure, man.
just come and
see what I'm
hang out.
doing. I might be a court jester by that stage, or
Yeah, that's it,
jokes
yeah.
aside. Like I'm skipping out of real estate, so I'm looking into mental health and disability support worker.
Really?
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
I'm changing tact. I want to do things a bit more
Yeah.
nourishing for my soul and a bit more wholesome.
That's really good to hear as well. That's nice. Yeah, that's really cool because that is
Cheers.
wholesome. That's like, you know, it's helping people. So that's really cool though. So like you've had the experience. Now you want to help others. Like that's amazing. And then another thing as well is hopefully at the end of this year or next year we're going to start doing like more panel things. So if anyone that's watching wants to come on a panel with Gethen and we all just chat shit and talk about music and like look things up and do this and do that, like hit us up. But I'd love for you to be a part of the panels.
Yeah, for
like.
sure. That sounds cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well,
Sweet.
Yeah, cheers for that, and then thank you, Damo, for being absolutely amazing, like usual.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah.
Where's your cat Sass?
All right.
I was hoping she'd be sitting on my lap, like, yeah.
You woke him up.
He's
Oh.
just over here sleeping. Wait,
Dunno.
put the camera on him, Damo. If you
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
No, you can do it.
can. All right. Can you see the cat? Everyone can see the cat. All right. And also the board. Yeah, the signature board, which is filling up with so many names.
You
now.
got some talent on there.
Yeah, so many people that have come on. It's great. And for 128 episodes, so just keep going.
Congrats. Well done.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
really good.
All right, but we'll see you guys because I'm flying out tomorrow, so I'm gonna be away for
Probably
a
past
week.
both our bedtimes as well.
And that's it. Yeah. The what? All right. We'll see you guys in a
Okay,
week.
bye.
All right. Damo's making us end it. All right, we'll see you guys later on.
Overtime.
All right, we got to wave at the camera because he makes us wave at the camera. All right, see you guys.